Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
We have a special treat for you if you'll indulge us. We'd love to play for you our submission for this year's Eurovision Song Contest.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend, Friday.
You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good!
Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this? Hey, welcome to Saturday Night Rumble.
This is reversed now, isn't it?
This is. Well, somebody's tired.
I am tired. I had a long week, so I'm letting R2 do the hard work tonight. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Show must go on. I'm R2 the Icky, and over here we've got owner of the channel, Mr.
All right, now I'm not.
Tell everybody your name.
My name is Ryan from Legion Games 2076, and apparently this is my channel, but I don't claim it right now.
It is. And we've got some wonderful guests tonight to hang out with us. So we'll bring them out now. We've got our good buddy Dax.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
What's up, Dax?
Good. We know Dax has been feeling a little under the weather, but we appreciate him being here tonight to hang out with us, and always a pleasure.
Yeah, he's being a trooper.
And then we've got Tom, also known as Rogue Disney, in his true form tonight. I see.
Yeah, I figured I'd actually prove the dog's real. So Rogue is not really happy right now. This would be her walk time. So
why didn't you put the hat on the dog? That would have been perfect.
Damn dog is like, dude, leave me alone.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
That poor dog.
Get this all on my head.
No one call me for dog abuse, please.
No, that's not dog abuse.
Yeah, she looks really traumatized by that.
Yeah, she looks like she could be a farting machine. I'll tell you what.
No, not really. It's just
really?
She's actually doesn't have that much gas. She's just very much of a diva. So
how old is she?
3 o'clock. She's about 4.5.
Okay.
I found her. I think I said this story before, but I found her on the road in '95, driving home from Disney, in South Carolina.
Wait, in '95?
No, on 95.
Oh, on 95.
On 95. In near Florence, South Carolina. She was about 20 pounds underweight. Drove her 3 hours to the nearest vet, and then took her home.
My little Frenchton is a farting machine. My God, that dog rips. She's so tiny. She rips like the nastiest farts.
Move this back to me.
Doesn't want to see us moving the camera.
He's like, don't show my room off. I saw the tacky wires hanging from your TV, dude.
Yeah, I'm still moving in.
He doesn't want us to see his blow up Princess Leia. That's why he turned the camera.
Yeah, that's what it is. I saw that in the corner.
Yeah.
That's a year of trying to make a kitchen, so I didn't get to do any unpacking. I have pots and pans in here still.
You sound like a guy when he moves.
Hey, my TV's up. My PS5's there.
I can just imagine somebody, hey, Tom, where are your pots and pans? In my bedroom.
Things can get interesting in the bedroom.
I don't know what you need to be catching in there, but okay.
I'm not going to touch that one. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well, let's say hi to people in the chat. Got my lovely wife hanging out with us tonight. Hello. And we've also got our good buddy JT JT's got family in town, so he's being sneaky right now. So that's why he's not on the panel with us. But he's listening in. And well, that's what he told us in our Twitter group. I'm a little disappointed he didn't come on the channel all glistening.
I had swamp ass.
Lovely.
That's a 100% thing in theme parks. That's an existence.
Yeah, everybody gets it too.
You ever get in if you sit down in an attraction? That's why there's always a little bit of wetness there. It's just everyone's.
You sit on something plastic, you're gonna see a moisture spot surrounding butt cheeks. That's a real thing. This is already derailed, and I love it.
Maybe we should have just been like, no show tonight.
No, you're doing a great job, dude. I'm here for the fun. I don't have to do shit.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know what the topics are for tonight other than, we did talk a little bit about Disney. So
we're going to talk about Elon Musk and Twitter too, because they're still having a huge meltdown. And that was something Dax brought up because, obviously everybody's been paying a lot of attention to it. But it's interesting that, Elon Musk and Twitter are no longer trending, because obviously Twitter is trying to, regain some control there.
It's just
that
like
why Dorsey did the whole NFT thing.
I didn't see what Jack Dorsey did.
Didn't he try to put a $48 million NFT out?
No, that wasn't him that did it. It was a tweet of his that someone else tried to sell.
Oh,
okay. I didn't know if it was...
Yeah. So basically, what happened? This dude bought an NFT of Jack Dorsey's very first tweet ever. So the very first tweet ever on Twitter, and he bought it for like $2.9 million. And so now a year later, he's trying to turn around and sell it for like $48 million. And seriously, some dude's like, "I give you $230 for it."
Really?
Yeah.
Someone's. Yeah. I don't get NFTs. I don't get it.
I don't get them either. I really don't get them either.
Cryptocurrencies. I got those. I get.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But NFTs, no idea.
An NFT is a digital object with a certain coded sequence in it to verify it is the original of a copy.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Who cares? It's only valid if someone thinks that's valuable, because someone else can just make a copy of the same image.
Value is built on scarcity. It's not built on.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what the NFT is, but it's one of those things where it's in regards to that, it is a.
It's only valuable if somebody thinks it is.
It's like fool's gold.
Yeah.
I mean that's really that's how I look at it.
It's trying to put the same value that you would on like a rare painting. And the thing is, though, is that it's kind of the same concept behind it. But the problem is, though, is that when it comes to digital, I mean, what's the point? It's made on the spot. So you're trying to give it an artificial value. And of course, by making it scarce, it only has the value that's put on it. It's like, oh, I think that's really cool. I want it. So if there's other people like that, but at the same time, though, it's like, if you're like, dude, I don't care. Cause with the monkey going around, there's different monkeys smoking cigarettes and stuff and doing different things. And some of them are like super rare and others like more common. It's just, I think it's like super wishy-washy, in my opinion.
I can understand.
I agree.
If it was a work of art or like a photograph of something, and you say, this is the original digital photograph in raw format or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what people are using it for. They're using it for ridiculous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can go get that same copy of that image by just scrolling back on his account and going, oh, clip. There you go. I got the same thing you do, and I didn't pay $2 million for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's out of all things that we have in this digital day and age, that's like the one thing that is.
That's why so many game developers are against NFTs.
Yeah, it's so utterly useless and stupid. I do think if there is somebody that JT and I happen to know that is very much like, oh yeah, NFTs are cool and it's going to be the wave of the future. And if they feel that way, cool. But yeah, I
mean,
just
like with crypto, the cost comes from the energy put in to try and create it. Correct? That's pretty much for like cryptocurrency, like the brute forcing the numbers.
Not really.
Well,
The cryptocurrency gains its value because there's a fixed amount of resources. So, like with Bitcoin, there's only a certain finite amount of Bitcoin that can be mined. Once those are mined, that's it. It's not a reproducible resource.
Yep.
So those can trade based upon a scarcity or a rarity value. Because if you actually went by the energy cost to mine the crypto, some crypto would be very undervalued.
What makes cryptocurrency so valuable is the fact that it's decentralized. They cannot be influenced by severe inflationary measures or by the government. Artificially the Fed. The Fed printing more. There is a finite amount. So what is it? Ethereum is going into its 2.0 mode here, probably by the end of the year, which means they're going to condense it down to make it more valuable, and then whoever has it, that's it. You can't mine any more Ethereum. You can only buy with it, and so that's how it's going to be, and that's how they keep it scarce, because the governments of the world can't mess with it, because obviously, for now, the U.S. dollar is what impacts the world market. Most everything is done in the U.S. dollar. Like oil is based in the U.S. dollar. So, Saudi Arabia and stuff like that, they make the price of oil in the US dollar, causing that to have more power to it. But by the Fed printing literally trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions, more money than God has ever seen within the last couple of years, that's what's tanked the US dollar. So,
which is why they want to crush crypto.
Yes, because they can't control it. Because they have no influence over it, and politicians are greedy, and they want your money. They want to be able to tax your money, take it, and do whatever they want with it, and not have to answer to you. And that's the problem. Like
not
everybody,
only that, but they don't want something else that is a hedge against inflation.
Yeah, exactly. Because they can artificially inflate it, or or decrease it, or they control it. So I mean, because there is no gold standard. There's no gold standard.
Isn't something like the crypto though, like Arrhythmia? I mean, like, can't you like build upon it though too? Like, there's.
What do you mean?
You mean on the blockchain?
Or like that's what that's what I'm thinking of, blockchain.
Well, yeah, it runs off blockchain. So, and that's how it's monitored and managed. The thing is though, is that blockchain is you can't influence the blockchain like you can the US dollar. So that's what keeps a contained system, is through the blockchain.
And you can't really build upon it depending upon how it's designed. Like I said, Bitcoin was designed to be finite.
Yeah.
So there's nothing you can really do to undo that.
I mean, I wish I could have gotten my hands on Bitcoin when it was around, when it like first came out, because I knew a few people that were able to like mine a couple of coins, and then like even too, I remember like I know somebody who like sold. I think he said he had like 3 coins at the time, and he was like, if anybody wants them, like $600,
Well, if I had invested in crypto when I was introduced to it, I would never have to work again in my life, because when I was introduced to it, it was like $12 a coin, and I was like, "What's it for?" And the guy's like, "Oh, you'd buy stuff with it." I'm like what? And he's like, and I was in IT at the
illegal
time,
stuff.
First I'd heard of it, yeah. So he's like, "Oh, like well, you can buy illegal stuff like drugs and guns and even people on the dark web." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't do that, so why do I care about this coin?" And yeah. It's you put $1,000 in crypto back then, and you never have to work again.
As foolish as it may be, but like I just recently bought a bunch of the Shiba coin because it's worth nothing right now. But it's one of those things where even for what I bought, I didn't spend that much on it. I mean, even if it goes up to a penny, I mean
I bought those.
It's like 20 grand. I'll have, so
I bought Doge at 1.2 cents a share and sold when it was at 67.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had sold it when it was at that high and then
I still got some.
bought it
but-
again. I still have everything I bought. But same thing, like even if that goes up again at some point, it's like, you never know.
Well, hold on to it because if Elon does,
Yeah, I
get a
know.
hold of Twitter,
That's
he's wanting to make it a purchasable coin.
yeah. No, I agree.
You never know.
The point of cryptocurrency is what you should do with it is use it as a long-term investment, much like a share in a company starting off the ground. That's you because ultimately as more and more cryptocurrency is made, they'll eventually be enveloped into other larger more profitable coins. So you'll get, instead of, say, hypothetically you have like 10,000 of this coin, it could eventually be brought into this other company to where it's that coin is like 3 times as much. But so you'll, instead of having like 10,000, it'll cut you down, but you're still moving up the level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's a better investment right now than it is for obviously don't think you're gonna make a quick dollar off of it.
Oh, no. I realize
I'm just saying in general. We're not giving financial advice here. We're not giving
yeah.
financial advice, but just use it as something to store for a rainy day. Let's say that.
No, and I totally get what you're saying, and I totally agree that it's a long-term investment. But like what I was just saying with example, I mean, I bought a crap ton of Shiba coin for not that much. And it's one of those things. It's like, even if it got up to only a cent, for what I could sell it for, it's a profit. Even if it only became a penny. So, but yeah, I realize that that's not going to happen tomorrow. That may not happen for a year. That may not happen for 5 years, but I have it.
Yeah. I mean, I got involved in a company that early on that's moving into medical marijuana and research, and I think I have like 2.7 million shares or something. So if it were to go to $1, I would have billions. So
send us some samples.
The only thing I am worried about with crypto is they're already pushing that they want to be able to tax unrealized gains on stocks.
That'll never happen.
Oh, yeah, it should never happen. That's absolute outright theft.
Yeah, it is outright theft because you can't determine what's an unrealized gain. That's like saying that you buy a house for $180,000 and then all of a sudden the price of it jumps up to, let's say, $300,000, and so you pocket all that profit, so to speak. But then all of a sudden the house drops down to $120,000 because the market, the floor falls out. You're still on the hook for that $300,000 profit. Well, not the $300,000 total, but it'd be $120,000 of profit that you previously had until the floor fell out. So you would owe $120,000 to the government when the house is only worth $120,000 itself. It's like, you can go right the hell off.
It's one of the dumbest things they've ever proposed because it would kill long-term investment in the market.
This is what happens when you have big government. This is what happens when you have people who are greedy at the top. They have all the money and they want to kick the ladder out from underneath. They don't want you. They want the little people like us at the bottom, and they say, no. Well, we know what's best for you. Just like with COVID, we know what's best for you. You should listen to us. We know what we're doing.
Fauci.
Yeah, it's the same damn thing. Instead of you investing for your future and you taking control of your future, these people say, no, we understand how this works. We're going to control your future. You let us take care of it. And of course, these are the people who have us at $31 trillion in debt when the GDP of the country is $20 trillion. If they would just stop spending money on garbage and increasing. Go ahead.
These are the same people that go into Congress with nothing, making $285,000 a year, and are worth $65 million just a few years later.
Nancy Pelosi is worth some like $200 million.
Yeah, well, Elizabeth Warren, even Stacey Abrams, she's worth $4 million now, and she didn't even do anything.
It's like just
So
ask
these-
yourself, where are they getting this money? It's not from the salary, which they
Hey.
do keep increasing.
Stacey Abrams is the president of the world in Star Trek.
Yes.
She looks like the size of the world. Just saying.
God, the memes off of that were so funny.
Oh my god, it was just so atrocious. I'm
saying though, these are the same people who they're doing the insider trading. They're not taxing their unrealized gains. You know, they know how the system works. They know how to make money in it. I would contend that they're doing it a lot illegally, but you know.
So the whole scandal with Nancy Pelosi, her husband buying like stock in Tesla or something like that before they instituted this whole electric car thing, it wasn't days before. That is verifiably false. It was like a month and a half or something like before, or like 2 months before, somewhere in that ballpark. But there was a good chunk of time. However,
still, how far ahead do you think Congress knew they were going to incentivize?
Legislation takes time to be agreed upon. And so her husband went and dumped like $3 million into Tesla stock. And then the federal government said, oh, going forward, we will only buy electric cars. The stock went up. That's not Elon Musk's fault. That's the fact that these people know how they're going to affect a certain market, and then they profit from it. That is insider trading. That is illegal.
But that's also why we have the Ford full electric truck and Chevy's full electric truck, because now they're not going to buy from Tesla. They're going to buy from Ford and Chevy.
Well, and anytime they talk about electric vehicles, they don't ever talk about Tesla either.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, though. It still influences the whole entire market.
Oh, no.
No. I'm just saying they're going to buy a Ford
funny
and Chevy.
that just shows you how much, though, they hate Elon Musk because they won't ever talk about.
Do you think he didn't know they were going to incentivize people through taxes and stuff like that? I mean, he knew that.
Sure.
He knew that it was going to be a market driver, and he used it to make gain with.
I'm a firm believer that if you sit in a elected position to affect national policy, you should not be allowed to buy or sell. Your assets need to be frozen. You cannot buy, you cannot sell, because you know what's coming down the pipeline. If you're like, we're going to start doing this Green New Deal crap, so go over to this like a green company over here and buy like 1 million shares. Let's get on top of that.
Well, it's funny too. Like she bought like
ethanol.
Well, prior to the pandemic, she bought a ton of Netflix stock, and she also owns a lot of cybersecurity stock with a company called CrowdStrike.
Their portfolios are wide open for everybody to see. So you can go view their portfolios and all the transactions they've made. It's just interesting watching that, there was a transaction made 2 months before everything, and they bought stock in Tesla. And then, of course, they walk away with all this money. But it was her husband. She has a $20,000 refrigerator. Like, do you think these people are, they're stupid?
Full of $7 a pint ice cream.
Yeah. She's standing there with gelatos.
Well, to be fair, today ice cream is $7 a pint.
It is now. It wasn't then.
Hey, Walmart brand, $5 for a gallon.
Yeah. I got to be honest. It probably wouldn't matter if I had billions in my bank account. I would still buy good value, great value, or whatever, because that's how I was raised. Don't spend your money on stuff that matters, like great family vacations and stuff. Don't go out there and be like, I'm gonna buy a $20 pint of ice cream because I can. It's like, what's wrong with you?
I like that question you asked the other day. Would you if you won the lottery?
Well, when I asked that,
would be invest, because
I'd pay off my bills. I'd pay off my parents' bills, my sister's bills, and then I would invest. And then once everything is squared away, smart in a very smart manner, then I might buy me a little something.
Well, like I said, I do the same thing. My bills, parents' bills, new cars, and then I would dump it into precious metals.
Hey, Dax, will those be new electric cars?
You know what? Hey, I've been in a Tesla. I wouldn't mind having a Tesla.
Yeah.
Because they are extremely nice cars.
Oh, yeah.
However,
absolutely.
Plus, as you getting on in age, having people drive for you, it's a nice work.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think if I could
Getting
own
on in age. I caught that.
an electric car, I mean, it would be nice to own a Tesla.
And for what I do, it
But-
wouldn't be bad. I drive about 60 miles a day.
Yeah, I mean, if
So,
you're
I mean,
scooting,
you know.
scooting around on a daily basis, like
Yeah.
that's not a big deal. But
You can't
I would-
though, really like take any you can't travel long distance.
no.
Well,
entirely.
once the model, the new Roadster comes out, right? But that's supposed to be a 1,000-mile range. Wasn't that the thing? Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
To an extent, it's like there's still electric is not practical.
All right, so there's
Travel.
3 companies near me that sell portable batteries to put in your trunk to charge your Tesla.
Okay, hold on.
They're
Hold on, hold on.
3.6
Think about it.
kilowatt hours.
You're adding more weight to the vehicle, which is using more energy to.
Yeah,
take
that's
along
why they should
batteries
just have
to
it travel.
charge more.
Well, if you're trying to travel somewhere, you're going to put like your luggage in the trunk too. So then
There's
you have
2
less
trunks.
room.
I'll just look at it this way. I'm gonna listen to the man himself, and he said that there's no way in hell that everybody in the United States can have an electric car.
No,
That
I believe
we
that
will-
too. Yeah.
Oh, he said it. He said it.
Well,
He said there is no way.
Do you
think
guys
about it.
remember?
If 25% bottom right now, our power grid would collapse.
Yeah,
We
it
can
can't even
barely
support
handle
it. Not
what
even
we can
close.
produce and transmit as it is.
Yep.
California is telling people not to charge vehicles in the evening when it gets too hot. And besides that, they will not work in certain places in this country.
Where it's really
Yeah.
cold out.
Yeah, up where Dan lives, electrics are going to be crap because they're going to lose half their
But
charge.
But it doesn't have to be a solely only one solution. It should be a variety of different things.
Well, it's funny too how much the talk of owning a hybrid has died. I mean, it's gone from
because hybrids suck. And they're not.
well, I was gonna say, but it's funny too at the same time. Like they talk about how efficient hybrids are. They're like, if you actually were to take the electric portion out of a hybrid, like, and just put a massive gas tank, like, I mean, your car wouldn't be fast, but how efficient your car would be.
Well, look, we do tons of things in the name of environmentalism that aren't environmentally friendly.
No,
One of the
they're
ones we were
economically
talking about the
friendly.
other day is ethanol. Ethanol is one of the worst environmental decisions we've ever made. Oh, but it burns clean. Yes, but to make it, you have to grow a lot of corn and grain. That takes fossil fuels to do. Then you have to ferment it to create the alcohol. And the number one byproduct of fermentation is, of course, alcohol. Anybody got to guess what the number 2 byproduct is?
Sugar.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
It releases massive amounts of carbon dioxide when you're fermenting alcohol because the sugar is what
Becomes the alcohol.
is what the bacteria eats to turn into alcohol, and it releases carbon dioxide.
Mhm.
If you've ever made your own wine or something at home, if you cork it too green, it will blow the bottles. Why? It's because the CO2 is building up in there as it continues to ferment. I had at one point where I was making my own at home, I had 4 5-gallon water bottles going in our small bathroom at one point, and I didn't have enough venting in there, and you couldn't breathe when you walked into the bathroom at times because there was so much carbon dioxide in there. So,
Are you
Oh,
admitting?
Dax is making bathtub gin again.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you admitting to making moonshine?
no, it's only illegal if you sell it. Made for your own
No,
consumption.
no.
It's fine.
Trust me, I know. I had a
And it's really
Right.
good too. I made some really good stuff.
I had an old coworker that used to do it as a hobby.
It is
Yeah.
interesting though that but still that hybrids have gone away, that there hasn't been a bigger push to make hybrids more affordable, because that would, if they really wanted to easily get people to, move over to electric, right? The
But
jump
that's
is
a problem.
to
You
getting,
can't.
but I'm just saying if they wanted to, right? If they were really trying to, I mean, the bigger push would be
But the problem
getting
is
everybody to go over to a hybrid vehicle to get.
I mean,
you can't
to
make these things cheaper because we don't own the precious metals need to make them work. China
Yeah.
and Russia own most of those. We
Sure.
import all those metals, and when they control the markets on them, you can't make them much cheaper.
There's also precious metals, and guess where? Afghanistan, where we
left behind.
Yeah, that was a good decision. That's a good job, you dumbass.
That, and then I don't know if you guys remember this. When I was living in California,
I guess we should say exotic metals, not necessarily.
This is at least 10, if not 15 years ago. All the theaters, at least in California, would show like commercials beforehand. You'd go and sit in the theater while you're waiting for everything to start. There's commercials playing. I don't know if it was like that everywhere else, but that's how it was.
Yeah.
There, and I remember there was always this like 2-3 minute little mini documentary that they would show about this guy or husband and wife that had developed that they wanted to convert all the roads into essentially a giant solar panel.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Remember?
Yeah,
it was gonna be like glass, and they talked about like if it ever cracks or this
coated
or that,
with rubber and something.
You can just you can remove, you can replace the plate and all this stuff. But then I remember like hearing like, I think this was like 10 years after I remember like first seeing it, that like I guess they tried to test it, like test it practically, like build an actual section of road to do this, and like they couldn't do it, and like what a massive scam it was. I mean, like, it's like great idea, but these people are really just we're scamming everybody.
Well, I mean, the amount of roads in the United States is astronomical. We could actually we could probably take all. I can't remember the exact number, but you can take all the roads in the United States, and if you lay them out end to end from here to the moon, I think you could do it like something like 100,000 times or something. It was something like nuts. So it was just like no, I don't think so. Not going to happen. Yeah, good try.
And the problem that we have isn't just in generation; it's in storage, because with solar and wind, they're not steady. They're variable sources of energy. You can't turn them up. You can't turn them down. So if we don't have a way to store that energy that we're making, it's wasted at times and not available at other times when it's needed. There's no way to store the amount of energy that is necessary. As a matter of fact, I don't know, were you out in California when they were having all those brownouts several years ago?
Oh, yeah. Really quick, though. Hey, Maria, thank you for swinging by.
Hi, Maria.
And hanging out for a little bit.
Do you know how the city of San Francisco alleviated those brownouts? And I think this is hilarious and ironic and proves that God has a
because they're full of all the rich people.
No, they hooked up to the CVN. I think it was 68 USS Ronald Reagan that was in harbor and used its nuclear generators to generate power. So once again, Ronald Reagan saved California.
Where I was, it usually happened in the summer. And, outside of, I think if we had stayed, I was ready to go buy a generator because it was becoming ridiculous. Because I had all kinds of battery powered fans. We would lose power. And it would always be super hot. I mean, so much of it too was the fact that PG&E, which is the power company out there, wouldn't maintain anything. They wouldn't maintain the areas around the power lines and the ground branches, and that's all the time. That's the stuff that, that's what was causing all those fires out there too.
Yeah. Well, and Trump called them out on that if they had better land management, they wouldn't have as many problems out there. And
yeah, you have to do controlled burns. You have to get rid of the, because unfortunately with death does come life, and that's just the way it is when it comes to. But you do need to take care of all that foliage that is dead and dying, and you need to do a controlled burn, and you need to remove it. And if you don't manage it, which California is horrendous at managing anything. Like, I mean,
one lightning strike and you've got a tinderbox.
Well, to where I live, there was a lot of very interesting. There was a lot of cattle farms, and they were all. I mean, it's all hills. It's not like the area you'd expect them to keep any type of cattle, but the people that had that property would regularly do controlled burns, and then they would also have big sections where they wouldn't let anything grow, essentially as like fire barriers to prevent or minimize, fire from jumping.
Yeah,
to catch other areas, so that if something did catch fire, it would be contained in one section. Didn't always work, but yeah, no, it's wild. And not only that too, living out there, I mean, the last 5 summers that I can think of, I mean, they were just, people wore masks because of the smoke being so bad in the air because of all of the wildfires that they would get. It's terrible.
Well,
oh yeah, don't talk about fires right now. Maria's, any of us that are friends with her, she's been dealing with like fires on like all side of her house.
I saw the video on Instagram just before we even started.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen that. I don't.
Well, I think it's odd that we approach our energy problem so well. Each side of the aisle approaches the energy problem from such disparate positions. The left is just like, no, stop fossil fuels, end it all right now. It's everything green, everything green energy. There's nothing free, and there's nothing completely green. Windmills have a carbon footprint. Solar panels have a carbon footprint. You can't store most of the green energy sources that we have right now. There's no one solution that's going to fit everything. And these people have to face the fact that we will never, ever eliminate the use of fossil fuels.
Nope.
Because there are just certain things that you cannot do. You can't fly jets. You can't fly helicopters. You can't have lubricants and plastics. Yeah. And
I'd like to share Tom's solution. If
I clicked on that.
Yeah, if Legion doesn't mind.
No,
I'll bring it up. You can keep.
Dude, you're running the show.
I'm just saying. I've actually looked into this thing for a while, because there are actual communities in Florida that have runways built into them, designed into them. So
that looks like something from like the
Minority Report, maybe.
No. What did Disney used to have before?
This is
World of Motion.
World of Motion. That looks like something you would have seen at World of Motion at Epcot.
I'm gonna say this: these are going to turn into low flying taxis at best, because
are they electric?
They're electric and gas engines. They're hybrid. They are hybrid engines with 600-mile driving and 450 flying.
Here's something that you might be able to do small stuff like this, but here's something that you'll never be able to do without fossil fuels. You cannot do airliners. You cannot do cargo transportation. You cannot do any of that kind of stuff, because the amount of batteries you would have to have,
it wouldn't work out.
To power the aircraft over long distances would prohibit you from carrying passengers or cargo. You couldn't have military vehicles operating on it. You're putting military vehicles into areas where you're destroying the infrastructure as you're coming in. You have to have fuel.
No, I agree. I'm saying if you can be strategic about where the fuel is being used.
Yeah. No, that's
and
that's how I think the right really does approach it, is that, yes, we need to wean ourselves off of being so dependent on it.
Look at that, Ryan. You could go see Tom in an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's about the same as driving almost.
Yeah,
like it's half the time.
It says it's 3 hours. What are you talking about?
No, it's half the time. It cuts in half.
I'd also have to have a pilot's license.
Yeah, that's the other one too. I mean,
they're not gonna let the FAA is not gonna let these things off the ground unless you have a pilot's license.
Well, it's the same with a driver's license. You can't drive people do drive without them, but you shouldn't.
But there's a big difference between flying something and driving something.
Yeah, and
you're talking about air controlled space.
You look at because I want to get my pilot's license. It is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
It is very expensive.
There's an airport near me that does like a small airport that does this.
There's a big reason why there are go-kart tracks that you can go to and not airplane track, airplane courses.
But surprisingly enough, a lot of people have basically taken most of the tests necessarily if you do commercial drone use. Because if you do commercial drone use, you basically take most of the written tests for.
But there's also the practical though, and the practical.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying there's a lot more people, I guess, somewhat knowledgeable. I mean, if you're a wedding photographer, you need to have technically close to the same license, knowledge base about airspace and things like that.
if you're going to haul more than a certain amount of passengers, then you have to have a commercial license, which is and of course those cars have multiple engines, and that's a different category of test you have to take to get your multi-engine certification. I know, because I've looked into it. I already know what airplane I want. Like, and it's probably going to cost in the neighborhood of probably $15,000 just to get the license.
My curiosity
and
is if this uses the less amount of energy because it's being, hey, we're going to go 2 different ways to travel a place. Then
yes, Maria, I will.
Is this the plane?
That'd be a decent flight going down to Peru from Florida.
Yeah, well, you'll have to give me. You'll probably have to give me like 5 to 10 years, but yeah, it depends on how fast this all blows up in my investments.
Yeah, if there's actual flying cars, then I'm working my way towards that license right away.
Yeah, so I mean, if this whole YouTube thing, multiple platforms, different platforms, all that stuff, and my investments that I take my money from that and invest in, it all blows up and I become a billionaire, then yeah, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna focus on content creation and getting my pilot's license.
Hey, this would be a perfect plane for Florida, though.
I already got my plane picked out, dude.
Yeah, what's the plane you want?
It's either the Cessna 425 or the 441. They're twin engine turboprops. The 441 is bigger, a little bit bigger than the 425. But yeah, I mean they can fly. They're really good airplanes. They're really solid airplanes.
I don't know why, but just from my area, I'd want somewhere I could land in water if I had to. Like I don't know why I'd want the pontoon plane.
Yeah, that's the 425 right there.
Yeah,
you can tell by the exhaust port on the side. The 441, which is the bigger one, it's actually the introduction between piston engines and jet engines. It's kind of like the medium road. Yeah, it's bigger. Yeah, you're looking
quite
at
honestly, that's not an unrealistic concern.
What was
landing in water?
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
This is like an old man plane.
Yeah. Why is that? What makes that an old man plane?
It looks like an old man plane.
What? Because it doesn't look like all sleek and doofy like the other one.
It looks like something that Harrison Ford would fly and eventually possibly crash.
Yeah, or land on something.
Well, that or I'm just assuming that Ryan wants something he can join the Mile High Club in.
Well, you need to have space. You can't do that in a single seater. Well,
it's meant to be a small commercial airliner.
Why don't you get one of these? A real jet.
Gulfstream?
I don't want one of those. I don't want a damn jet.
It's a jet.
I don't want a fucking jet. The other one can go up to like 35,000 feet. What do I care? I don't want that.
You could sleep in that. You could put it on autopilot and sleep in it like a Tesla.
I would be the pilot, and I wouldn't be sleeping. Like it's the other one.
All right. Has anyone seen?
I just like getting him worked up about it. That's all.
Has anyone seen that movie? It's a mad world.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Maria's got to go. Bye, Maria.
Bye, Maria. I've seen Rat Race, which is just a remake of that.
No, there's a scene where I'm gonna have to put the clip of it into the private chat because that would be Ryan. He'd be the guy. I'm gonna put it in the private chat.
Well, the idea is that you want something that's a solid airplane that has a great safety record. It's got multiple engines because these things are basically they're meant to fly with using only one engine. And you know, it's also somewhat economical to maintain. If you buy a Gulfstream, dude,
see, old man airplane. I told you.
I'm going to be the only one who's flying it unless I got somebody with me. It's going to be all the family around. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, and the nice thing too about a twin engine is, you know, you ever lose one.
Of course, Maria says, and Ryan, get that jet. I'd be flying in style. You haven't seen the interior of the other plane. It's got leather seats, and it's got 7 of them, not including the pilot. Whatever. You guys suck. Fuck you guys.
This will be him, Ryan, JT, and R2 flying around.
I feel like there's going to be a meme of like some pilot show or something with all our faces on it coming.
What do you mean? Somebody's going to take like the scene from Airplane.
That's what I'm saying.
Roger, Victor.
There's going to be a meme coming out after this.
It'll be me.
I guess if I had billions of dollars, I could get the Gulfstream and let some get a professional pilot. And when I don't want to fly,
well, hey, you never know if you become like a cannabis gajillionaire.
No, here's hoping.
Got me a plane that runs off weed.
Yeah, you smell that? It smells like money. I don't know. What are we even talking about?
This is like devolved into odd.
It always devolves into something. It never fails. We go from talking about serious stuff to just like it just shits the bucket, and that's what's funny.
Well, I have to say though, speaking of weed, I bought a pain reliever.
I got the monkey.
Speaking of weed, everybody.
He's like, I just ordered pizza.
That has CBD and THC in it, and it is one of the best things I've ever bought. It's a roll-on.
People swear. Yeah, I've had the CBD, not the THC. I've had my ex. She did the CBD one, and yeah, it's really good.
This has both in it, and let me tell you what. Remember I told you my mom had just had knee surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Let her borrow it when she was really hurting today from it. And within 30 minutes, she had relief from it. So
it's got a lot of practical uses.
Yep.
It really does.
I'm a believer in some of that stuff.
Yeah, before my mom passed, I mean, they were giving her all kinds of, I think they were giving her morphine essentially, and nothing was doing it. And it was, I was like, hey, see if you guys can go get her some THC drops. And that's what, actually, relieved her pain in her last few weeks. So, yeah, I mean, it does.
Well, the thing is, too, is that the body's not designed to ingest all these hard narcotics, and that's what, morphine is a narcotic. Dilaudid is an even harder narcotic. And,
the only thing that's stronger than that, right, is fentanyl.
Yeah. And we see what that's doing to people.
Yeah, but there's no problem with the border. It ain't no big deal.
I just like Dax was like, I was with the Vanderbilts last night and we got some weed.
We got some weed for the party. Chauncey, will you bring over the sprawling papers, please? I don't know why they turned into weird British people, but okay.
All right, Ryan, this is something I wanted to ask you, actually. So I haven't seen these before. What is kava? I've seen kava bars everywhere around here, and I'm just trying to figure out what that is.
Kava bars? I don't. You have a picture? Let me hear. I got my. No. I got. Well, unless Rick R2 wants to put it on the screen so we can all see it.
It's just like it's something that I have not seen in North Carolina, New York, anywhere else I've lived.
Wait, is this a by kava bar? Or are you talking about?
It's like a hippie tea thing that's like illegal in other countries because it kills your liver.
Okay, so it's a kava bar is like a place you go to drink tea, or it's like
go to drink kava.
Okay,
like literally, it's a.
I have no idea. Is that an Orlando thing? I don't know.
I
haven't seen them down here. I mean, unless I'm not paying attention, I don't know. I mean, I know there's like hookah places in Tampa Bay, like the hookah joints, or a lot of people like those. I think
is it because I see like there's kachava,
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, here we go. WebMD. Kava is a beverage or extract made from the Piper
It's spelled with a K, by the way, just so you actually...
methysticum plant. Used in ceremonies for relaxation.
It does do that. I tried it. It does make you mellow.
Rogue's like, yeah.
Like, it does do that.
I like how he's asking me. He's like, what is this? And he's like, yeah, I drank it, and it made
Well,
here comes the real story.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Well, it's considered to be non-addictive, but it can be habit-forming and lead to development of a tolerance. Gee, that sounds like addictive.
What isn't?
But it's a euphoric high. I mean, it's
euphoric
sounds
high
like
can
it
lead
sounds
to
like it's
habit forming. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean, well, sounds like it's some type of hallucinogenic.
I don't know about that.
Florida's form of peyote.
It's all over by me. And
it says a depressant drug is another one.
It kind of sounds similar to what people have described what hookah does. I've never tried it though. I don't know.
Well, hookah is a device. I mean, it's like a pipe. It's a water.
Yeah, but what's the brick they put on it?
It's tobacco. Yeah,
but it's a different type. It's
but
like
laced
with something.
It's over in the West Coast too.
It's like a big old compressed ball of tobacco, and then they usually add like fruit or like other things to flavor it. But it's not. It's not anything.
Not what I've been told. When you see
now you can put all sorts of different things there to smoke it, so that's the difference. But hookah itself is the device. It's
I mean, but
it's a bong, it's a pipe.
This is R2. Found one in Arkansas.
I don't need to go to a hookah bar.
No, the kava one.
Bar.
Oh, a kava bar. Where in Arkansas?
I don't need to go to a hookah bar. Come on, man. You don't want to live a little,
I've been to a hookah bar. And
I didn't realize they were outside of Florida. Now I was like, where were they in North Carolina?
Why about North Carolina? And why you want to send somebody there?
No, that's where I used to live before. I'm like, I've read an article from Forbes saying they popped up all over the country.
I won't say who, but we have a mutual friend that lives in North Carolina.
Yeah.
She may enjoy some kava.
Hey, spoilers there. Trying to.
Well, I mean, come on now. How many females on this platform?
I never even said female. You guys all said it.
He said it first, but let's just say, how many females do we know on this platform?
Well, it could be Phyllis.
Stop while you're ahead, dude.
I don't think I was even ahead. I think I was way behind.
It's like I found a kava bar in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Well, I don't think it's that illegal then.
No, I don't think it's illegal. I mean, it's just I think it's just a
some
slight mind altering situation. I don't know.
It tastes bad.
I'm sure it does.
It's good.
How do you know, Tom?
There's one like walking distance away.
So
please tell me you bring Zort to that.
I was going to do a video on the place, but I didn't think it would be a good idea for my channel to do a video about something that would be that.
We could let you do it on this channel. There's all sorts of.
Hey, I'm not opposed.
It's not like we ever stay on topic.
It's
not like I haven't been on location before either.
Yeah, we don't. We really don't stay on topic.
That's part of the fun, though.
Is the bar like? I feel like the bar's name should be like Cava St. Lucas.
No, I think the one near me is called Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon. That sounds like a strip club.
Yeah.
There's those by me too.
Do you take Zort to the strip club?
He gets his own dances. I have not been inside them. Too much time at theme parks.
It sounds almost as convincing as what's kava?
Well,
yeah. Could anybody tell me about this kava thing? Oh, by the way, it tastes terrible.
So
I tried it once.
Did you have a friend when you tasted it?
It was actually right after I moved in. The neighbor said, like, you look exhausted. Go try this.
You want to go get high?
Yeah.
That was basically like, hey, you look exhausted. You've been
Ryan
moving
is
boxes.
tired. Maybe that's what Ryan needs. Is a little kava.
Yeah. I probably an energy drink with a big old shot of something behind it.
Isn't that a bad thing? Like alcohol and energy drink.
Yeah, it's not good.
Like, isn't that why they stopped doing like the Jaeger bomb things?
I think
Well,
that's
because your body's
I mean,
Jaeger
I don't
and
go to
Red-
I don't
Jaeger
go to
and Red Bull
a lot of
is,
bars like at all, but I'm
they
as
call
far
it
as I
liquid cocaine.
yeah, something like that.
Well, your body's getting a depressant and something to excite it at the same time to know what to do.
Yeah.
That's called going to a Star Wars movie.
I was gonna say that's called a goth strip club.
Excitement and disappointment all are wrapped up into one.
Yeah.
Luckily, we haven't had any of those for a while.
Yeah, well. I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you Ryan, did you get to check out Outer Range at all or no?
No, I haven't had a chance
I haven't either.
I didn't even get a chance to finish Halo last night because I was so beat. I fell asleep like 20 minutes before it was over. I had like a little bit left. So I only, if we were to talk about Halo, I only got like 2/3 of the last episode. That's
okay. I went to go see Sonic this morning, and the theater had to close down because so the power line got hit by a car. The generator ran out of gas. Like, movie's over.
Jeez.
I got to see a third of it.
Sonic's a really good movie. Did you get your money back?
They gave me a voucher for another movie another day. So they actually said
Yeah,
it's like a small local theater. It's not even an AMC. It's like a Cobb, whatever Cobb is.
Okay. Kava is a tea made from the root of a pepper plant from the South Pacific Islands, used medicinally and socially for centuries to ease anxiety, reduce tension, and support restful sleep. Well, there you go.
Where can I get some of this?
Probably 5 feet from your house, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Because trust me, I could use it for the anxiety. Because I don't.
At least the one by me, you can get growlers and be like, have a club, and you go and they fill it up, and you bring it into your house like a microbrewery.
And why do you know this?
Because they tried to get me to buy one, and I didn't want to.
I was going to say, again, for somebody you asked about this, Tom, you sure know a lot about it.
Way more information than the panel had.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom was just a wealth of knowledge on this.
I tend to remember things well.
Not only that, he's like, I've only been to it once, yet I know all of this.
He picked up a whole lot on that first trip. Did they give you a pamphlet?
No, but they gave me a lot of free samples.
Next, I went for Tom's like, I've got this card. If I go 4 more times, I get a free kava drink.
Oh,
I don't have one of those, no.
Tom, my, sir, how you spend your weekends?
Talking to you and then a theme park on another day. No, that's a weekday thing.
Talking to you. Yeah. That's funny. Well, so I guess we went from talking about Twitter. We went from talking about Twitter and Elon Musk for like 3 minutes to like into electric cars and into like
planes.
Airplanes.
Well, to be fair, we did go from Musk to weed oriented things, so there is a connection there.
Yeah.
I love how his bid was 54.20.
That was 4 days. It's 420.
So yeah, so funny. We there was a little bit of talk backstage about the fact that obviously Twitter rejected the board rejected his offer, which was horrendously stupid, because Tesla's stock is he definitely paid them more than it was worth.
Twitter stock, you mean?
Yeah, Twitter stock.
Don't get him in trouble with the FEC now.
Now I think Tom has been to the strip club.
Me too. I'm a good boy.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who's paying their way to go to medical school or be a lawyer, Tom?
Tom, do you support single moms?
What?
Have
you ever seen a woman wear clear heels?
Yes, but at Universal.
I'm gonna think about that.
Bad
Universal have
reviews.
their own clubs.
So basically, it's
Do you know anybody named Diamond?
Or Destiny.
Oh, Tom didn't want to go because it was gunshots and C-sections night.
Got out the B team.
No, that's like the D team, dude.
How is
I think the
buffet
D
at the
team might
strip
have a
club, Tom?
DQ them.
Do they have a breakfast buffet on Saturdays?
Yeah.
There is a place off of Disney property called Rachel's that actually has really great ribeye, but I'm afraid to go into it because it is a strip club.
Wait, how do you know it has really good ribeye?
I'm part of a Orlando foodie group on Facebook, and they're like, dude, it's worth like when you have like weird. Well, I don't know if they're weird, but you have people saying like it's worth it. Like even if you're not into these type of things, just like look forward, enjoy the ribeye. It's like $15. I'm like, that just seems wrong.
Hey, to be fair,
Is
there
that-
was a place
Is
in.
that pepper or is that glitter on the ribeye?
As long as it's
To
edible.
be fair, there was a place in Fort Worth called New Orleans Night several years ago that was well known for having one of the best kitchens in West Fort Worth. Business groups would go to this strip club, like, executive meetings were held at this strip club because of how good the food and apparently the entertainment was. So,
Wait. So they go for the boobs and stay for the food.
or maybe the other way around. Who knows?
I guess there's nothing like clapping cheeks in front of you when you're having a steak. I don't know. I've never done that.
We have the beef.
We have the beef. Beef
But
is
yeah,
what's
it was well known for both entertainment and food.
interesting. This is definitely taking a turn into another interesting area of conversation.
Well, back to Musk.
It's Legion.
It is. I guess it is pop culture related. I mean,
This is
Well, I mean, come on. The way Disney's going, there's gonna have strip clubs in there pretty soon. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
just
children's
different
ride.
Let's not get into that.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
oh, it's a trap.
That's a different type of rabbit hole.
Yeah. That's a very different type of rabbit hole.
It's a thirst trap after all.
What is I haven't been following the update with Disney. Does anybody know what's going? Tom, do you know what's going on with moving forward? Are they still trying to push this nonsense?
I do know that travel agent friends of mine are worried beyond belief. So people that know that our travel agents are what?
What did you post in the private chat?
I wanted to let Ryan know a place you can get a good ribeye. And
I have seen a lot more than just her ribeye there.
So when I when we go to the convention in Orlando, is this where we're going for dinner?
I don't know if I don't know how many people would want to.
Well, there are. It looks like there's a cosplay night because I see somebody dressed as Velma and Princess Slave Leia. So
Where's that at? These
Man,
places
I
are
had
such
this full screen. I gotta check this out.
these places are such a waste
oh,
of
yeah,
money.
they got a menu. What's the 5-star menu? I got to see what they list on here.
The hottest events are at Rachel's. This video is age restricted on YouTube.
Here,
I got a video on YouTube.
We can here. I'm going to share the menu.
Lunch with the best view in town. Gentleman's Club and Steakhouse is what it's called. This is a mess.
Well, the menu sounds pretty good.
5-star menu.
Hey, where's that guy?
Look,
who
they've
was
got a listing
who
for
was
side
like,
item and
Legion
side
Wire
chick.
is
They got
better than,
they got filet Oscar, prime strip, filet mignon, prime ribeye, tuna steak, chicken marsala, lobster tail, roasted rack of lamb. I don't know how to say that. I'm not going to try. Veal chop and fried jumbo shrimp.
I'm sure Tom can pronounce that.
Yeah.
Which one are you trying to pronounce?
It's-
Chateaubriand?
Yeah, it's interesting that
See?
you know how to say that.
It's the normal cut of beef that you can get. Like,
Yeah.
I also took French. So
Like
that
I said, they've got side items and side chicks. All you got to do is pick which one you
hey,
want.
and they have cigars.
Okay. No.
Do they have a
Clinton stuff.
hookah, Tom?
I don't know. I don't.
No
I
Bill
don't
Clinton
know.
stuff with the dancers.
But it's a late night meal.
There's more. Look at that.
This is wild what we're talking. Look, just for when we're down there in May in Orlando.
Can you pronounce all those, Tom?
For the wines or the champagnes?
Champagne.
Let me take a look.
I like how
I have it on the screen. You just look at the screen.
Well, Perrier Joulet Fleur, Perrier Joulet Fleur Rosé. It's just flour.
That says rose on it.
Well, it's a rosé, I'm assuming. Dom Perignon, so that's at least something. I don't know what Krug. That's got to be a German one. Krug Grand Cuvée Brut.
Hey, Rogue, you can get a VIP access level to this club.
We won't be clicking on that link. We're looking at the menu.
No pictures, just text.
I don't know how to back out of this. It's real. It's real.
How the hell do you pronounce that? Right there.
It's Russian.
There's 3 freaking consonants in a row.
Why is it a consonant?
other than
Zivan? Zivan? It could be Zivan.
Yeah, maybe Zyvan.
It's the last
Zivan.
letters of the alphabet there.
It sounds like something Chekhov would drink. And Y is technically not a consonant.
Saturday and Sunday dinner from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. That's a late That's a late kitchen. Monday through Fridays, dinner 3 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh, they have Monte Cristos. They have their own signature one.
I like how when you put the cursor over our girls, it says need a job. Are they apparently a little understaffed lately?
Well,
Need a
100%
job?
honestly, I have not been
the
here.
labor shortages hitting everybody.
Bachelor or bachelorette parties.
You know what? OnlyFans must have hit those type of industries hard.
Okay.
Yeah, I guarantee
sharing
it
this.
probably did. That's
well,
not
what was
a
it?
joke.
In Houston, they had drive-through gentlemen's clubs.
Yeah, they would.
Did they come in or did they just stay on the outside?
No, like they put like a
Was there a car wash too?
Like
did you
they
get
put
double
like
service?
a big giant pop-up tent.
The wing house that was down the street from me, they would do carry out, and then of course like you would get like a beer or whatever, and like with carry out, and like the girls will wash your cars.
Was it a Hooters or was it like a local wing house?
It was a wing house. It was a local
So how
wing house.
often did you go to that wing house, Ryan?
I actually didn't. I didn't go to it. It's the wing house my friends and I used to go to, but it burned down not too long ago. So
Kidding, they had to dedicate his parking space for Ryan.
yeah,
Had
they
his
did.
name
Yeah.
on the curb.
They saw my car coming and they had the special ready. I had a menu item named after me.
Swamp ass
Maybe.
platter.
Gator tails.
Gator tails. What?
Well, more swamp ass in my mind.
Actually, you know what? You know what that you guys need to do is I think you need to have Ryan come over and do a cooking episode with him. Make gator.
Ryan, do you cook?
Not really. I mean, I can cook something.
You guys can have gator and kava.
Yeah.
By the way, what's up with you people in Florida, man? We can't get gator up here. A lot of our restaurants are just out of it.
I've
have like a
had
gator
more
shortage?
gator and frog legs in my grocery stores than I've ever seen before.
Yeah,
That's
so
it,
y'all hoarding it for this food shortage coming up, right?
Hey man, frog legs are good, man. It's got that nice buttery taste to it,
I can't eat frog legs.
and it's actually cheaper than wings right now.
Seriously. Wow.
I got seriously sick. I got salmonella poisoning or something like that off of frog legs one time when I was little. And
Next time, don't do it from a pond in the backyard.
no, it was from a restaurant right on the Texas-Louisiana border, and I can't eat them now.
I would understand that. I was that way with something for a while with tartar sauce. I was in an Outback in middle of nowhere, like I want to say like Virginia somewhere, and it was like I got shrimp and fries, and I got the tartar sauce. I was done. I had to get a hotel. Couldn't drive anymore. Like it was just so like tartar sauce. I haven't touched mayo or pickle together for like 8 years.
What was the name of the strip club you ate at?
It was an Outback Steakhouse.
Sure, it was.
You didn't say that to Dax. You accepted his restaurant in between Texas and Louisiana. That could have been the same issue.
I was waiting for Tom to be like, it wasn't a strip club, it was a juice bar.
They may have to diversify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Twitter.
So I don't face it.
And that was Disney.
R2, have you seen Sonic yet?
I've seen the first one. I did not get to see the second one yet.
Good God, man.
I can talk about the first third. No.
I wasn't going to talk any specifics, but I definitely I've been looking at the box office numbers. It definitely looks like we're highly likely going to be getting a third one.
Well, especially with I've seen the after credit scene,
and the movie has been very well received. I think it was probably even better than the first one. So I love the interaction between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles was really awesome too. Like I think Idris Elba did a great job. And I would not have thought, I would not have picked him for Knuckles, but I think he killed it.
So I was just gonna say, I take it though, like Knuckles starts off as a bad guy and then ends up becoming a good guy.
He's not necessarily a bad guy in his view.
But I'm saying, but
I wouldn't say
like the viewers though, right?
I wouldn't say a bad guy. I'd say more like an anti-hero. He's
I mean, in the trailer, the term like calling him the Winter Soldier made perfect sense.
Yeah,
it basically gives you the entire concept of his character.
Yeah, it's so funny when they called him that. That was so funny.
I'll ask this. Speaking of Marvel, I'm assuming Ryan, did you give up on Moon Knight?
No, I just haven't had a chance to watch the new episode. I did hear the controversy that surrounded not the new episode, but like the last one where, or maybe the one before that, where apparently
the Mandarin, the bad Mandarin,
the making up of a Mandarin language where Simu Liu called him out. Like,
well,
I mean,
I to me the weird thing is though, I like that the girl is so sassy about the way she speaks Mandarin too, which is very odd.
Yeah, she was like, "Ni hai." It's like no, it's ni hao. It's literally what it is, ni hao. It's not knee high. It's not like you're putting on knee high socks. Like, what are you doing?
Ni hao ma.
Like, she literally starts with knee high. It's like, huh? What the fuck? And then like, yeah, just like goes into this. Like, it's like that's not. I feel
like really no point of that scene.
No, that's a good point. It's a good point.
It was just to put in there to try to make Hathor or like whatever his name is. I can't pronounce it right, but to make him seem more magnanimous.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, we all learn 3 different languages to try and better ourselves.
I'll just say this, Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke, no matter how well they act their character out, they can't save bad writing, and it's not the best writing. It's very kind of drab writing. It's very basic writing, and I'm gonna power through because I like Oscar Isaac and I like Ethan Hawke. And I just wish maybe they would have.
Well, there's only like 2 more episodes after this one, right? It's 6 episodes long.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, is it 7? I think it might be 7. I know that they upped.
They probably want to get as close to Kenobi as they can.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, they pushed they pushed Obi-Wan Kenobi back so it doesn't run over Ms. Marvel.
Supposedly, there was some rumor about they're going to introduce Wolverine on that.
Fuck, they're not. If we're gonna see Wolverine in anything, I'd say Multiverse of Madness. They're not gonna put.
I'm just saying. I heard that.
I mean, I can believe it, dude. I'm not knocking you or the person who said it, but if I had to hold my breath on that, I wouldn't do it.
I will want to bring up something just because it was anecdotal that I noticed. Theme park wise,
Is this
well,
another strip club review?
No. Theme park wise, Universal had to take off Hulk and Spider-Man from their merchandise bags.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
because of the contract changes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't think the contract changed, but I guess they can't use it for advertisement.
Well, I thought they still preserve their existing rights to.
I don't think they can advertise the characters. Like if you watch a Universal commercial down here, you never see Spider-Man or Hulk on the commercial.
So are their bags like?
They bags had the attractions on them. They had the Hulk and Spider-Man characters on them, and now they don't. It's like if you bought something, the Universal logo,
I guess that's considered advertising.
Yeah, so I guess they're becoming very finicky about it, which I think also is why Drax won't appear in Guardians on the attraction. Because he's represented inside of Universal in their Pillars of Heroes. So that's just a random thing.
Area you're talking about. It's old Drax, though.
Yeah, but still, that explains why the commercial doesn't have him either. Or Gamora. So I think they can't use certain characters for that attraction.
Ryan, you were asking if they're still persisting with this. It was announced the other day that they're actually going to be providing funds to transition children.
That's from the same. That's all from the same Rufo leak. Like so, that was all the same time frame, I guess. It's not like this is a more recent. It's just that he's leaking it. He's putting each thing out.
Yeah, he's
very well timed
in sequence. Yeah, but I'm saying that was the latest from.
What are they
leak.
doing? What are they doing?
Well, that shouldn't be. I mean, that's not covered on any of that stuff. Is all elective. It shouldn't be covered under insurance anyway.
No,
they're providing.
Put it this way, that's like you're telling me that you're taking a dollar I spent to do something else for someone else's medical things that I'm not. Like, there definitely could be people not spending money there just for that aspect.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's what
even
I'm
if
saying.
it wasn't for anything like anything they're doing, it's like even if it was just saying, "Oh, we're going to take your money and put it to," because these people don't have. You're just in a weird thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a dumb hill to die on because customers are going to, just like you say, well, if that's what they're going to do with my money, I'm not going to spend there. There is enough of a large group of customers that will say, I don't want my money going to that.
Well, that was the Trafalgar Group thing, the 70 or 68% of registered.
Well,
which should be a big enough message.
Did you see Jay's video the other day where?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, even park guests are not happy about this.
Well, park guests would be a little bit less annoyed if they weren't being charged more. I think it's a perfect storm to get the average park goer or the average family annoyed. If it was cheap, if the things weren't costing as much, they probably would pay less attention because they're having less impact on them. But since it's raising prices, lowering quality, and this social aspect on top of it, you kind of just have a perfect storm of everyday folk being like, well, I'm done of it for any of these myriad of reasons.
Well, we were talking just last night, Tom, about the fact that everything is seems to be falling apart with everything going on with Bob Chapek, and I was talking about the fact that it looks like they're basically hamstringing him. I think they're on the verge of trying to blame everything on him, and then
the board wants him out.
I think they do too.
Well, the board never wanted him in there in the first place, but I mean, the person who leads the person's chairman now is on his side, so I don't know fully. I mean, this is all coming from the Burbank side of things, and that's why Chapek was trying to get things ousted from there. He wanted things moved over to Florida. He wanted more of the hierarchy of the company in Florida because it didn't want to be. He didn't want it to any longer be infiltrated by California values, or that. Like, I think that's why he wanted to move the 2,000 positions. He wanted to move key positions over and start switching. Besides the tax implications, it's so much cheaper to be a company in Florida than California.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, they're already hedging their bets on some things because they're diversing their interest into more real estate gains with the affordable housing and other things like that. which obviously in my mind, and I don't know why I'm the only one who said, "Oh, great, we're going back to coal towns, except instead of coal miners, we're going to have mouse ear people." Like you're basically going to fiefdoms. You're going back to, oh yeah, you can live here. We're going to pay you this much. You can stay here as long as you work for us. And I don't know if that's the right way to go.
Well, I was gonna say I was always surprised that Chapek was, appointed as Iger's successor, mainly just because of he is not charismatic in the least bit. Eisner was a very charismatic person. Same thing with Iger. When addressing the public, things like that, and he is like a wooden board.
I honestly still think he was set up to be a fall guy from day one, because the whole entire world was falling on its face, and it was so easy for Bob Iger to say, "Oh, I'm done. I'm still gonna sit on the head of the board, but I'm not CEO anymore." And as everything just goes down the shithole, it's like it's that guy's fault, because we had the best years under Bob Iger. We had the Avengers Infinity War and Endgame and all that stuff, and it's easy to point the blame somewhere else now. And now that things are getting really out of control, like drastically out of control, and then you have Bob Iger coming out and talking out his ass and making a statement on behalf of what he thinks should be what he thinks about the Florida parental rights bill. He's not the CEO of Disney, but he's always going to be associated with Disney, because
don't forget he's got political aspirations too.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got the same political aspirations anymore, but yeah, he absolutely has political aspirations, because he's always been a political figurehead of Disney. He's never
I
not
kind
been.
of feel like Chapek's in a similar position as Ron Miller, if anyone remembers that CEO of Disney, who was actually one of
he was the son-in-law, right?
Yeah, he was the son-in-law, and he actually did some good things for the companies, economically speaking.
But he only lasted a year or two, right?
Yeah, Roy literally made an attempt to basically save Disney campaign to oust him out of the thing, which led us to Michael Eisner.
No.
So, I mean, I'm wondering if we're in a similar aspect of they put a sacrificial lamb in to try and save some monetary gains for the company. And this was a curveball that got thrown at him, and he shouldn't have responded.
Yeah.
Because as for before, he was doing a decent job of trying to bring back revenue. And
he was keeping his mouth shut. He was,
and his first response was the right one. We're going to stay out of this.
We shouldn't have said anything, because Universal didn't have to say anything. Universal made no statements. So why did he even bother? He should have let it be.
Because he's beholden to the silent or the
because
vocal minority.
The problem was that it came out that they had given money to people who passed the legislation. That's the problem. So now the new they
all companies give money to both sides.
Exactly. Yeah. Because obviously you want to take advantage of no matter who's in charge.
Yeah,
the problem is though,
no matter where it comes from.
The problem is though is that you get these they're not employees, they're just straight up activists, and they're borderline they're almost tyrannical terrorists in a sense, because they literally push and push and push and scream into the ether until you're just like, you can't take it anymore. And I have one word for that. It's fired. But
absolutely,
I mean that's how I would do business. I'd be like, you're either going to do your job or you're fired. And then when they're all back, well, you need to be you're going to do your job or you're fired. And it's like, if they say it again, I'll be like, you're fired. Get out of my building. That's it. You're fired. It's not a hard concept. And Florida's a right to work state. So you can scream into the ether all you want. They fired me because I'm gay. Well, prove it, dude. Prove it.
And honestly, the company here wouldn't do that. You're not going to get that company doing anything like that. This is all. I still believe my original statement is that this got blown out of proportion by people that didn't want to move. Like that was the first protest. All it had to do with, we don't want to move to California. We don't want to and I would be annoyed if I was in that community that they were trying to represent. They're saying like, you're using this to not have to move for your job.
Well, there are
Not
a
have
lot
a
of people
transcript.
in that community annoyed. There have been, even like Blair White, who is transgender, has spoken out against this activism, against this being pushed to children. She's spoken out vocally against it and saying that this is more damaging to the movement than anything they could
absolutely.
do, because they are going to generate resentment. They are going to identify themselves as a threat in the eyes of everyday America.
I mean, they've literally turned parents into a voting group. That's never been done in the history of this country ever. Like, you have parents who are now considered a voting majority group because you're trying to cram this garbage on children, and you have politicians say, no. Parents shouldn't have the right to dictate what is being taught to their children. It's the teachers. It's the school board. No, bitch. Like, I pay your salary. Shut the fuck up and teach. We have kids that can't read in this country.
But that's the other thing.
Graduating high school.
Where are the teachers coming out and saying like, "Oh, we agree with this. We should not be teaching." Like, I don't see any TikTok videos or anything like that.
It's not all teachers. I would say probably the vast majority of them don't believe this. But the thing is, though, is that the teachers union does, because it is all ran, much like Disney, by basically a bunch of weirdos who want to push this ideology down. And of course, obviously, they give money to politicians and so of course the politicians cater to them. It's basically horseshit. It's absolute horseshit. Like, there's a reason they're like, oh no, teachers don't want to go back to school. I don't give a shit what you want to do. It's not about you. It's about the fucking kids. That's what's important. You got kids who are killing themselves at an alarming rate, and you have these teachers who are like, no, it's about me. I don't give a shit what you think it's about. I really don't.
See, that's the other thing that they don't take into account either. If you look, and Ben Shapiro broke this down succinctly the other day, talking about the suicide rates among LGBTQ community, especially in the trans community, compared to normal suicide rates. And then he compared the rise in teenage suicides rates that has risen so drastically over the last few years in comparison to the rise in how many teenagers are identifying with these groups now. There is a 54% not just thought about, not just had suicidal ideations, but there is a 54% attempted rate.
Yes.
Among male to female transitioning, and it's 48 female to male. I don't know why there's such a difference there. But
it's on both sides of the coins too. So
yeah,
either the ones who don't do it are just as likely to attempt it as the ones who do the transition. And yes. I have to be honest. I know this is something that this is a very passionate subject for a lot of people. We don't want to be talking about this. We want to talk about theme parks, but the problem is that you get Disney
right in front of you.
Exactly. You get Disney and Amazon and and Nickelodeon, who for Christ's sakes was putting on something recent content. I can't remember what, but it's along the same lines of like, celebrating, like, dude, these kids are watching this stuff. What is wrong with you? You got people who are making kids cartoons talking about, my queer agenda. Like,
well, they know this and they want that. That is the goal, is to indoctrinate the younger generations into validating their lifestyles. And if you're so okay with your lifestyle, you shouldn't need anyone else to validate it. I don't have to validate what R2 goes and does on the weekend that he doesn't talk about. But, I don't have to validate that for him. That's okay.
Those pole classes are really doing wonders for R2 though. It's toning up that core really well.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything yet, so yeah.
He's still working off my paunch, so
but that's the thing. They really do want it directed at kids because kids are gullible. Kids are impressionable.
All right. Is it just that our generation was the last one that said, like, If a teacher told me something and told me to do something, my first initial reaction would be like, "F you." I'm
Well,
not doing it.
Well, I didn't know what
Our
my teachers were
generation-
doing in
Yeah,
the
but that's-
bedroom.
our
Go ahead.
generation is the last of, because even though we are not, at least Tom, Ryan, and me, we are not technically Gen X. We're the beginning of Gen Y, but we're the last part of the last bit of that generation that there are, people
There's a
that
big
still have
difference
those
between the
values,
first 5 years and the last.
but then
5 years.
Yeah.
But then, though, too, our generation is the start of, right, the very progressive parents.
We
And
remember
those-
a time.
And those those parents raise kids to become even more progressive, and so on and so forth. So
progressive.
Well, here's
no.
the
I'm
thing.
not saying
I'm
your
at the-
parents were. What I'm
No,
saying
but-
is the generation.
Yeah, I always think that our generation, like the millennial group, should actually be two different ones, because I think
I'd
the
agree.
first half and the second half are vastly different.
But even then, there are ones from the first half, of our age bracket, that are very opposite from us. And what I'm getting at is that parenting of the progressiveness really kind of started with it. I mean, even a little bit at the even to the end of Gen X as well. But that's where it.
Yeah, and that came from
okay.
the baby boomers technically being like part of the '60s free love child movement and all
Well,
that.
hold on.
Like,
Think about that though. What you're saying is true, but when did gender ideology start? It started in the 70s.
yeah, college
It
campuses
started
back
in
then.
the 70s, and it started being pushed to the mainstream populations in the 80s and the 90s. And now this is the scary thing that they broke down the other day too. If you look at baby boomers, like 0.5% identified with one of these terms. Gen X, I'm the tail end of that generation. It was about 3%.
Mhm.
Millennials, it's about 10.
Yeah, I
Gen
think it was
Z.
like it's like 8 or 9%,
Yeah.
and then of course like Gen Z is some
It's like 20.
yeah, it's like
So
21%.
tell me this isn't culturally driven.
It is. It absolutely is.
But does it
100%.
also have to do with the fact that as we go along with the more access to being seen, everyone's looking for some way to be special and more.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
that is
it has nothing to
culturally
do
driven.
with. I'm not saying it has nothing, but it has a lot to do with just being noticed, and that's like part of the trophy generation. Everyone getting a surprise.
You get
Everyone
social
getting.
points for it.
Yeah,
Because
you
we
want
were-
noticed and stuff like that. Like it's.
And the millennial generation is where it started with everybody is special, everybody's a winner, everybody. It's like no, there is. That's not how I learned how to do it. Like you either won or you lost. That was the term that was used. We lost today, but you know what? We worked hard as a team, and we're going to work harder trying to be work better as a team. That's how it was, but this whole thing that everybody's a winner. No, not everybody's a winner. There's always going to be a winner and a loser in everything. And if you don't know how to lose, then you're damn sure not going to know how to win. You're not going to value it. So when everybody wins, then you get this generation of like, well, I want. Like, no, I don't care what you want. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to give you free
to that
shit.
old adage. Or weak men make hard times. Hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. We are clearly in the fact that we have had good times.
We are reliving
the
late 70s, early 80s.
Men that are making hard times.
So at what point in time do they make the Karens?
Well, that's unfortunately
that's
a new development. But
no, it's not. They existed before.
Well, it's a new revelation, should I say? They've been exposed more.
It's just a new euphemism. I miss
new
George
euphemism.
Carlin. I would so love George Carlin coming back and doing a whole new special on euphemisms, because you would have a blast right now.
Well, the sense of self-entitlement has never been higher in the world, because you take this thing that you can reach millions of people with, and what do you always see at a dinner table? And it drives me fucking nuts. When I went to WrestleMania, I was sitting in the airport. I put my phone down waiting for the airplane, and I was just looking around. All I saw was this. Everybody Everybody was staring at this.
And you go back to what you were saying about the sports a while ago about winners and losers. Steven Crowder just recently did a Change My Mind at Denton County in North Texas, or at University of North Texas at Denton in Denton County. And he asked several people when they were talking about the sports issues. He said, "What's the point of sports at this level, at a collegiate level? What is the point of sports?" And they're like, "Well, sports is to have a fun and have a good time and do." No, when you're talking about at the NCAA championships, the point of sports is to compete and win, because that's what gets you, selected for the U.S. national team, or that's what gets you scholarships, or that's what gets you. There is a point to it, and his argument was obviously that you are taking away from these women by having these men take their place and take these opportunities that this provides away from them. And that's it. All these kids in college right now, well, the point isn't always just to win. Well, then why do you have times? Why do you have records? Why do you keep score?
At least UCF. So UCF, I saw this in the news this morning, kind of blew my mind. All of their players for their spring games have QR codes for their brands, for their brands. So they have QR codes on their jerseys for people to go and connect to their social media accounts for the players, which in my mind, if you're telling the player at this point in time as a college player that he's a brand, not trying to be a player for the team, he's already planning that he is not going to go professional. He's at that point. Yeah. So but my point is the school is endorsing this concept of, oh, you are a brand. Now, of course, technically all of us on here are trying to be a brand. No one's not trying to do that in this space.
I'm not.
But
I don't have a channel.
No,
that is very true. You don't.
But the idea of a football player, a college player,
there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah, not all.
No, because we're trying to build something. That's
no. But I just found it.
No. But I'm just saying the fact that Dax doesn't have a channel. I mean, we don't care. We love Dax because he's our friend. So
yeah.
All I'm saying is I saw that in the news and I thought that was weird. Like the team is not focusing, the school is not focusing on being a good team. It's like, okay, we set up this QR code jerseys so they can go and have their Twitter and Instagram profiles be easily accessible by the audiences.
And that's because that's I think that's part of the damage of technology. While it should be it was always said that when we reach a certain point in technology, it would be harder for dictatorships and totalitarian governments to exist because there would be this free flow of information and people will be able to find the truth and stuff like that. Today, I don't think people look. They're all focused on, likes and retweets and what can I get out of this? It's that dopamine hit from refreshing your page and seeing that 10,000 people like this or whatever. It's when you get to that point and then you have these big medias that can control it, can funnel what is seen, can funnel like the algorithms that drive traffic based upon this kind of stuff. We get more disconnected than what they thought the internet would do in connecting us. You look at how polarized things are getting right now over just this issue. While Florida and Texas are enacting these laws, Texas is prepping one now. Georgia just banned all transitioning under the age of 18. And then Massachusetts goes and passes a law requiring it to be taught in kindergarten. Not just, requiring that these 5-year-olds are taught this. A 5-year-old can't pick out what shoes to wear correctly to class. They don't need to be worried about this stuff. Nope. My kids into their teen years could barely choose what they wanted to have for dinner.
I hate to say it, but kids are...
Hey, JT.
I know. I laughed at that one. He says, "I get happy when Rogue likes my tweets."
What did I do something wrong?
Yeah, you like the tweet?
I am not good at Twitter, to be honest.
I'm bad at Twitter too.
I'm not good at Instagram, but Tom's really good at that. So
I'm only good at it because someone helped me with that.
Yeah. Do they have a name?
I can't say the name.
I know. That's why I'm screwing with you.
I know who it is.
So do I. Oh, yeah. It's one of the reasons that that our system is set up the way it's set up is that the federal government does not know what is good for everybody. What is good for California, which is pretty much nothing they do, is not good for Florida because they are 2,000 miles away. So the idea of trying to cram down all this garbage on a federal level, it is not meant to work that way. That is why the states are meant to balance out the federal government and be able to tell them, no, we are not going to do that.
Well, I mean,
That's why I was
you had to see the thing on
conducting
Twitter
a
today,
public.
right? The thing about MSNBC, right?
No,
But-
I might have saw it. I wasn't really.
Are you
paying a lot
talking
of
about
attention.
where she said that Elon Musk was trying to control the news?
Yeah, and she
no,
says, "Oh, that's our job."
Oh
Well,
yeah,
Somebody said
No,
that was an old
because
clip when they were talking about Trump.
yeah. It
no,
was an
she
old
said
clip
it. She
about
said
Trump.
yeah, but she said he is trying to change the way people think,
Mhm.
and that is our job.
Yep.
Which should have taken them off the air, in my opinion, but
They're a private company, and
JT
they're
knows
not
too, by the
they're
way.
they're not beholden because Barack Obama signed into law saying that basically repealing the fact that well, I mean, it's not like it really did a whole lot in the first place, but there was a law that that media couldn't push propaganda. I mean, they still found a way around it, obviously, but it is probably worse than ever.
yeah,
So-
but the Supreme Court has ruled on certain things. Like we were getting into these conversations about free speech in light of Musk, and one of these people kept saying private companies are not bound by the First Amendment because they are private entities,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
mostly true,
Mostly.
unless they are acting as an agent of or at the behest of the government. The Supreme Court has ruled that the government cannot entice private business to do what is illegal for the government to do.
Exactly.
And we have seen many times where this administration specifically, where Jen Psaki, I'm sorry, I mispronounced that name, has come out on stage and said
Well,
social media
you know,
companies
we
need
need
to
let's
crack
walk that
down
back,
on
Dex.
this. She
I'll have to circle back to that.
God, I don't
So
understand
do I.
how you're a press secretary for.
I'm gonna miss her.
I don't understand though how you are press secretary for anybody and you can't complete a single sentence in the English language without
English language.
oh God, I lose brain cells when I watch her. But she's come out directly and asked the big tech companies to stop this disinformation, to curtail the spread of certain whatever. She has made them de facto agents of the government when they go to suppress, especially like COVID information, voting information. When they have come out and told these companies to do it, and then they go like the lapdogs they are and do it, they are no longer covered because they are acting as an agent of the government at the behest of the government.
Technically, in a sense, they're not forcing them to do it. It's just the agencies, it's the companies themselves doing it. And
You don't have to force them to do it.
And I'll take it even farther when it comes to free speech is that social media platforms are protected under Section 230 because they said we are a platform and we are going to not be responsible for what our users do and say.
But they're not acting as platforms when they
Exactly.
curtail and censor.
Exactly.
Then they're acting as editors and publishers.
Yep. Which means Section 230 needs
Should
to
not
be
apply.
it shouldn't apply, but it still does, because nobody in the government is trying to I wouldn't say repeal it. I would say advance it or
Enforce
update
it. Just enforce it. Once they start acting as editors, they lose the protection.
I think it's all a dog and pony show. I think it's all for the camera. It's a movie. Like, you know, when you get these people, you know, when you get Ted Cruz yelling about all this nonsense, I'm not saying he doesn't believe it, but the thing is, though, nothing comes from it.
Oh, I
it's
agree.
just political theater.
Everything's about their own interests.
Think about this. What if you and I were having a phone conversation and T-Mobile jumped in and said, "We don't like what you're talking about. You can no longer communicate." We could immediately sue T-Mobile for that, because they have broke the rules under 230. They have now curtailed, or curated, I should say, the content on their service. So we could both immediately sue them. The problem is, the federal judges, the federal courts are not allowing these people to be sued. They read it as their protection still is intact. But the second you start curtailing that speech, the second you start curating your content, you lose the protection of 230, and you should be open to suit.
You should be, but the problem is, though, is that it's
courts protect them.
It's failure on multiple levels, because the justice system is no longer a balance against the other branches, and vice versa. They all just work in political conjunction now, depending on who's in power. It's just the way it is. I mean, the executive branch doesn't half the time just does what it wants and signs executive orders and against the legislature. So
Yeah.
and then, of course, the legislature, these people are not forced to do their job. They do a bare minimum, because you get bills that will be passed on the House floor. On the House and Senate floor that go to a bare minimum vote, because if a representative from one side or the other doesn't rush to the podium and say, no, we need to do an official vote, to where everybody has to come back from whatever the hell they're doing and go on the record and say, I voted for this, or I voted against this. They don't want to do it, because then it doesn't give them the wiggled room to say, oh, well, I mean, I didn't oppose. You know, it's like,
that's why I give props to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Exactly.
She's called for.
She's the one who did it. And I have to be honest, y'all wouldn't want me to be elected president, because I would send aides down to that floor every day, and I would find somebody in the legislature to be like, you and me, we're gonna force a vote every single time. I don't give a crap if these guys are in the middle of a $1,000 lunch with whatever constituents that they're getting money from. And then I would have two aides sitting down there and saying, no. Oh, look, you guys didn't follow the rules. Okay, pick up the phone, call the local media, let them know, or whatever, whoever's willing to tell the truth. I would literally babysit these a-holes, because I would be like, you've all failed everybody. You've failed on all fronts, all of you. You are all failures. You are all nothing but, the majority of you are nothing but crooked people lining your pockets to do a bare minimum. And then whenever it comes to vote to give your guys a raise, you're always like, yeah, we're going to give ourselves a raise. Are you kidding me? What the f are you talking about? Like,
Well,
you
and
guys,
that's why this federal For the People Act, to try to federalize voting.
I don't know about 2024, maybe 2034. Give me a decade or so.
The For the People Act to federalize voting. Do you think we want our election system in the hands of these people? They don't vote correctly in their own job. Why would you think it would be responsible to let them determine how voting is done across the entire country?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would be a firm believer. I would literally, they would hate me. They probably hate me more than they do Trump, because I would be so far up their ass that they would freaking taste my shoelaces. Like, I am not joking, because these people are a drastic failure. That's all they do. They don't take response. Like, you are elected to do your job. Do your damn job. I don't get to get paid for my job and then go sit at fancy lunches all fucking day. No, that's not how it works. You are to sit there in that chamber and you are to vote on every single piece of legislation. I am so sick of this. This is
Look at the Texas Democrats on the voting law down here.
I'm just
They
saying,
fled the freaking state.
you want to know where your taxpayer money goes and why it goes to these nonsensical freaking things? Like, oh, we're going to gender studies in Pakistan. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, gender studies? In these countries, they throw gay people off of roofs. Yes. Like, you get murdered for being homosexual.
Yeah.
You think we got problems here? But no, they're like, $32 million to Pakistan, whatever.
And that's the other problem I have so much with companies like Disney. And I know we are always harping on Disney on this channel, but these are the people.
Oh, I'll harp on Amazon too. Trust me, their time's coming with Lord of the Rings.
But these are the people that film a mile away from 1 million people in concentration camps, and don't, then they're going to tell us how we need to think about bills that are passed in this country. I didn't see you saying that when you were filming Mulan and thanking the security agency that runs the camp behind you. I mean, you want to really take a stand for human rights? Never send one of your products to China again until they release the Uyghur Muslims. Do something like that and make us think that you're serious, because otherwise you're going to tell us what to think and how to act, and we shouldn't be this, that, and the other, and istophobe this, but you're going to hide Black Panther's face. You're going to shrink Finn down, and you're going to not say anything bad. Oh, and you're going to remove gay stuff out of movies so that you can get them a China bugs.
Well, that problem's already been solved because China wants no more of Disney. They don't want any more Disney. Spider-Man No Way Home wasn't released there. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness isn't going to be released there. China's done with Disney, so they got what they
want. Doesn't China have a big thing though with like magic, where
magic and ghosts aren't really
supernatural?
allowed.
Yeah.
But think about that. What did all that pandering get you?
Nothing.
Closed
from their market.
You crapped on the American community. You pandered to those people, and finally they're like, you know what? Nah.
Yeah, they had no
interest
in Mulan.
That's what happens with the woke. They'll eat themselves.
Yeah,
you can never be woke enough. You can never do everything right, because at one point you're going to make a mistake, and that's it. You're done.
Hey Phil, what's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping by, man. I know you had a busy day today. That's why you couldn't be here tonight.
Friend.
No. He said that he had been nonstop like all day or something. He's like,
no.
I know, but like for once, I just wanted to be like, nah, he's legit. Like it's not.
Tom did share two interesting articles regarding theme parks.
Tom, please stop sending pictures of your balls, man. Damn.
That's Spaceship Earth.
I don't like getting that text message on Sunday mornings every time.
That was Spaceship Earth, but okay.
Look, I get it. You call the left one Baldy because you shave him and not the other one. I know it's great. It's a funny joke, but I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
What iconic attraction?
I don't know.
The Men in Black alien attack.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, come on.
It's, this article is like one sentence and then it's like 3 pictures. So I'm not really going to go through it. But there's been some tweets that because of Mr. Smith's slap assault on Chris Rock, they're now saying that this attraction should be retired.
Well, if we're gonna retire attractions for everything crappy some stupid actor in Hollywood does, there would be no rides to ride.
Ding, ding,
because
ding.
they're all shitty people. Sorry,
People Mover will still be there in Disney because there's no actors.
What?
The People Mover will still be there in Disney because there's no one in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, pick an actor who hasn't done something crappy or hasn't.
No, but you know what they're going to do? They're going to put Tessa Thompson, or no, not who's Valkyrie.
Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson. They're gonna put Tessa Thompson in there.
Hey, JT.
They're gonna throw Tessa Thompson in and get rid of her.
Yeah. Why did it go on?
There we go.
Why'd you do
Arthur
that?
had something poignant to say, and I don't know what it was.
Well, they're also saying the Simpsons ride.
It's just us four.
Needs to be replaced, which it is a little dated at this point. I mean, the Simpsons.
The Men in Black ride, you mean?
Well, replacing something for being dated is one thing. Replacing
the
an
current time, their
attraction to Will
popularity
Smith
is not
smack
there.
somebody.
You
Simpsons
do not.
Popularity.
You
is
have
very
access.
nostalgic.
Rick, watch. It's just us.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Well, he's connected to. He's part of After the Weekend, and he uses the After the Weekend account. And he's figured out that After the Weekend is tied to Legion Talk.
Okay.
I thought I may just bring some more fun light to this.
Ryan.
Prune candy.
I was just gonna say it means I can do less. So I mean, I don't know why you think
was
this is
gonna
a punishment.
When you decided this arranged marriage between us, I'm
Yes,
sorry, but
yes.
the stepchildren were part of the deal.
It was really just a depressing part of the show, so I had to come in and bring some smiles.
Well, we were.
We've gone a lot of different ways.
Oh, it's gone all sorts.
I am very intrigued though by.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
I'm trying to add
right.
this. There we go. Here's what I want to do. What's on your shirt?
Oh,
It's like
I'm a beach
cactus-
person.
Oh, it's
No.
beaches. Okay, I was like, is that like
Is that like a
safari?
It's like palm trees and stuff.
Yeah, it's a Florida shirt.
Is that
Yeah.
like a spare
We
bedroom.
have palm trees there, don't you?
Yeah, it's I got family in, so that's a futon, that folds out.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like. I was like, it looks like a bed.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay.
Yay!
I just
All
wanted
right.
to
He
pop
can go
in.
try out some coffin
Where-
bars
where-
too. There's plenty
where-
in Arizona.
I
Whereabouts
just
in
wanted to-
Arizona are you?
I'm not
The
telling you.
desert.
I'll tell
The
you.
desert.
I'll text you.
Yeah. Because I have
talk to
family in
my-
Arizona. I mean, I didn't mean tell me now.
Yeah,
But,
go
like,
doubt yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like I
Hey,
say, I
if
live
somebody
in
sends
Tampa
a
Bay,
super
but
chat, I will give his address out.
Tampa Bay.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
You updated it.
Yeah, it glitched. What happened?
I don't know. I just wanted to come in and say hi. Give you a hard.
You just wanted to
Yeah,
come
what-
like chaos.
Yeah.
I was trying to bring it back around.
I don't remember what we were talking about. We can. What
We
were
were talking about the call to
Failed attractions.
Yeah.
I'll head out. Dax was having some good conversation. I just wanted to come in and give you guys some lighthearted information.
That you could control the stream.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
He's like,
I like the look of fear and panic in Ryan's eye when
I was just.
that happened.
Yet again, I was very confused when that happened. I was like, I don't understand what happened.
Ryan just sent me
All
a
right.
message. He says I have to shoot you now.
Oh, what?
I almost bought a
That's awesome.
toilet
looking, by
paper
the way.
dart.
You almost bought a what?
It's a gun that shoots toilet paper wads. Cabela's.
Oh. That's what everybody needs. Let's see, will it actually cycle around? Oh, I did it terribly.
What is that?
Well, Captain says, "See you later."
It's a gun.
Well, it's not a gun. If you're gonna bounce, man, you don't have to.
No, I just wanted to come in for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm on my computer because I was working on something for somebody.
See.
No one's. I can't say anything at the moment. It's a surprise.
Nice. Very nice.
It's your remember you told me it was your strip club logo.
It is,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, it's for when Tom and I go to to Rachel's in Orlando.
Where is that?
I don't know.
Literally right
next to Tom's
right
house.
No, it's like 5 minutes from all the theme parks. It's like literally like they have a couple of them around there. I've talked to people that travel, and a lot of the dads get sick of the theme parks, and there are specifically like Disney themed, like Belle and Ariel themed strip clubs close enough to the area.
What?
Dad's like, yes, son, we're going to Disney.
No, it's more like, hey, you guys are going to Disney, and then instead of going golfing,
this is. Are you? You're not messing around. They have.
No,
they have
there's actually a really cool thing right across from Magic Kingdom. I told R2 about this. There's a machine gun range that you can go to right outside of Magic Kingdom across the street. Like you can just literally drive across. Like, so talk about a stress relief at the end of the long day, waiting on like 5-hour lines constantly. Not a bad idea.
But machine gun, what do you mean?
I think it's an AR-15 range. I haven't done it yet.
Semi-automatic.
Because I don't know if I can technically film and do anything there.
No.
Like I was thinking like a M249.
Yeah, they're not. I wouldn't imagine they'd have something like that.
Like, okay.
Because you don't want to put that kind of firepower into some idiot's hand, even if it is at a range.
Yeah, you shouldn't, especially you.
Excuse me, sir. I was a qualified expert on my weapons.
I think you was talking about me.
No, he's talking about me. No, it's I am shocked to find out that apparently there are Disney themed strip clubs near the parks. Talk about a stress reliever.
Like I said, won't be long. They'll be in the parks.
Yeah, you'll have ones for children and stuff too.
Yeah.
Was that too far?
No. Trust me, we. It's just so.
Sorry.
It's just
it's just dark.
Drinking.
It's just there's nothing.
Someone
really
has to.
Super excited. It's exciting to talk about. Everything just sucks. Like, Sonic is the best thing to talk about right now. Like,
well, we didn't get into the Twitter discussion like we kept getting derailed off of that. I think that's exciting news.
What's R2
we talked
doing?
about it a lot behind the scenes.
What's up with R2?
Aren't you guys going to be reviewing Batman?
He looks. Yeah, we are. We're gonna have Joker face.
Joker voice.
Or voice. Sorry, my bad.
Isn't that a Lady Gaga song? My Joker face.
Yeah. Probably
Talking my Joker face.
Fix that.
No, I have no clue. I think the other story is funnier because the fact that this goes exactly to what Ryan was saying earlier, that no one pays attention to anything, that a 10-foot snake could weasel their way through an entire crowd of people and no one noticed.
Well,
I find that
how do they know if nobody noticed?
I guess the cast member. I didn't read the full article. I skimmed through it. I'm like, well, at least this is.
What kind of?
I was supposed to be there yesterday and I didn't go.
Yeah, R2's
That's why I was like,
expert.
Yeah, I mean, like if it was like a king snake or something, yeah, I could see that because they're not that big. But I mean,
the picture looked like a boa.
No, that's from the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, that's fake, Dax.
I just scrolled through it real quick. I was like, dang, that went through the park and nobody noticed.
I kind of have a question. Oh, just because you said Jungle Cruise, did anybody like that movie?
I liked the concept.
It's okay.
It was too long. I liked the Rock story about being like the cartographer and all that.
Yeah.
But I would have preferred the original teaser trailer without the supernatural stuff of him just trying to run a makeshift tour company. Like I'd like the big.
Yeah,
I'm just sick of the Rock.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Hey, that's the people's champion.
He's the people's idiot.
He's
Really?
had some hot takes recently that I'm
I don't
not.
think
he figured out that he can't be a box office draw.
I don't think he's quite as bad as John China.
Yeah, he cries for Mr. Joe R. Biden. So
Yeah,
but I don't think he's quite as bad as John China.
No, I don't.
Speaking Mandarin and
They're
apologizing.
they're all getting sucked into that nonsense. Like it's.
Did you know that Vin Diesel hates The Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what does everybody think about Brie Larson joining Fast 10?
Please don't make her Paul Walker's sister or something.
She's gonna be Paul Walker's sister or daughter.
Probably sister. Yeah, I wouldn't be
His
surprised.
lost long daughter. Teddy.
The
I
lost
don't care
one
about
daughter he
that.
had.
I haven't cared about that franchise in a long time.
Don't they normally cast attractive women in that franchise? What happened?
That franchise died with Paul Walker.
Yes,
I agree with that statement. That was the last one I saw.
Yep.
Thank
And I
you,
actually
Paul.
watched it for Paul Walker.
Yeah,
I
Paul
liked
Walker was that dude.
He was
I own all of them, and they're my favorite film series. Like one of my favorites.
I was gonna
And
say
when
my
he
favorite
died-
one was the Tokyo Drift one.
Yes,
with
yes,
the
he's not
guy
in
from
that one.
NCIS New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that dude. He
wow.
got like.
I didn't have a huge issue with Tokyo Drift. I mean, was it? It was fine for like a one-off, movie. It was fine.
They did pull back a lot more on the CG in that one, which was nice. There's like only in the last race where they had a lot of CG. They did keep to a little bit more of actual drifting and driving compared to what they did in Too Fast, Too Furious. With like
now, it's just so absurd. It's not about the cars anymore. It's just about doing the most wild crap ever.
If you were like me, I was into a lot of street racing.
So was I.
It was a real it felt like a street
You
racing.
couldn't fit into one of those cars, Ryan. How could you?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Trust me, I had one of those cars.
I tried to. I put lights underneath my old Volvo. Tried to make it look off.
Wait, you did what to your old what?
I had a like
because that sounded way dirtier.
I had an 89,
did what to
88 Volvo.
Your 80-year-old Volvo?
Yeah, Volvo, the Swedish cars that are weigh 800 pounds.
Yeah.
Did you hang out with the Golden Girls?
Great mom's car.
Poor rogues.
No,
with strip clubs.
It's when you get given a car and you can't afford one when you're 16. Like you get the POS. And
I bought a Mustang for $500. It was pretty shitty, but I made it work.
At that point in time, I think $500 of mine probably went towards video games.
Sad day.
Hey, remember when gas was like $1.30 a gallon?
When I was in high school, my senior year, they had 2 gas stations open up close to our house. They went into a gas war. I remember paying 84 cents a gallon to fill my truck up my senior year.
I'm just gonna go back in time to get gas and bring it forward, make a killing. Someone's gonna make a time machine, and that's just what they're gonna do. They're gonna go back and steal resources from the past.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Dax, don't get me wrong. I'm sure you're a little older than myself. So, like, in the 70s, it was pretty high, right?
Well, comparatively in the 70s, I was born in the 70s.
Oh, yeah,
so
it was pretty high in the 70s, all right. Hey, look, I found Ryan in his car.
That's the army. It's a little army. That is sweet.
I was trying not to be, I didn't want to offend anybody.
Rolling.
I was just saying, like,
no. But in the
I know
70s,
the 80s was really high, and like the interest rates were like crazy. Like, I see old
gas
commercials
actually got better in the 80s compared to inflation, but in the 70s it got really high. And what they started doing was they started trying to limit the price of gasoline, and it caused a gas shortage. My dad would tell me stories about when he was a teenager working in the 70s. You went by the first letter of your license plate. So on certain days, A through, whatever, M could get gas. And on other days it was, so they had it broken down to where they staged it, because when they fixed the price of gasoline, stations would just quit selling because they couldn't afford to sell it at what they were having to pay for it. So it was a bad situation. It's kind of funny with what we're facing today. In the 70s, they reported something called a misery index, and the news would report it every week as to what the misery index was, as to how bad the American people were suffering. And what were they suffering from? They were suffering from skyrocketing gas prices, skyrocketing inflation, and a runaway economy and overspending in the government. And it's like, wait a minute, we had an old doddering fool in office in the 70s. Huh.
Well,
Don't know.
looking at the gas prices adjusted for inflation, like 70s gas would be $3.30 right now. Right?
Well, adjusted for the way they calculate inflation now. If you were still calculating inflation the way they did it in the 80s, including all of the indexes, it would probably be about $4.50 right now. Everybody calculates. They changed the way they calculated inflation in the mid 2000s, and they took out certain indices that they had used before. And now, what they say that now, when you hear an 8.5% inflation, which is what we're at right now, it would be more like what we experienced in the 70s of almost 10% inflation, 10 or 11. Because they knocked out certain things that they don't include into the calculation, like housing, fuel, different stuff like that. There's different types of inflation calculations that they use nowadays to make it sound better than what it really is.
Well, it's also when places like New York passed rent control, and that, of course, tanked the housing economy. You'd have tenants who would pay a fixed rate, but the thing is, though, is that the individuals that owned the building, they couldn't afford the upkeep because they couldn't compete. The same thing with the gas stations; they just couldn't maintain. So you would have buildings falling in drastic disrepair, and that's why New York was such a shithole. It was falling apart. Like all these government methods to try to curb what's going on, it's really simple. Stop spending all the money
and stay out of the markets.
Stop it. Like Nancy Pelosi still wants to pass the Build Back Better. They passed that thing. Your inflation's probably going to hit 12-13% easily.
Well, what were they going to do about high gas prices? Their answer was send out gas cards to everybody. Dump more money into the economy.
Yep, that or freeze the gas prices. They said it. They've talked about rent control. They've talked about freezing gas prices. We're literally reliving the late 70s, early 80s.
Forgive all student debt, right? Because that money just comes from nowhere.
Yep, it grows on trees.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to hold any office higher than dog catcher, you should be required to have a 2-year degree in economics.
Yeah. It's just a popularity contest anymore. It's tribalism at best.
I think you should run for office.
Now we know Dax has been drinking.
You don't want me running for office.
I think R2 and Ryan would be okay. 2 R's.
He's just too smart for that job, man.
I tell you what,
well,
I would. Go ahead.
Fine.
I was going to say, do you know that originally running for office was not seen as a aspiration?
No.
Running for office was seen as a duty, and you were supposed to go.
Unlike today, when it is an aspiration.
Yeah, but you were supposed to go.
It's a career path. It shouldn't be. It was never meant to be a career path.
No, you were supposed to go, serve, come back, and then resume your normal life. We were never meant to elect career politicians of any stripe or color. We were meant to elect farmers and doctors and truckers and normal, everyday, common people that would go and represent the interests of their actual community.
Mm-hmm.
But the founding fathers were not normal people, though. They were all affluent, well-educated.
True,
like, but it wasn't that many. But at least in the beginning, I'm saying you're looking at.
But they also saw all the flaws in the system, and they
they saw a lot of the flaws, and they came up with a very great governing system that got abused. But I'm just saying, like, I think most of those people were also well educated, so there has to be a concept of have to be
educated. Yeah. No, I'm not saying elect idiots like we do now that can't tell how the economy works. That's the problem that we have. No, but I'm saying they were supposed to be everyday common people. not
Well,
career
I gotta go.
politicians.
I
See you,
literally
buddy.
just came in.
See you, JT.
Come in.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
See ya,
Bye,
man.
JT.
Tom, buy me something.
Oh wow.
That's very demanding.
And what do you have now? You have Congress is primarily made up of lawyers.
Yes.
Later.
And
See.
if not lawyers, they have never actually held a job. They've never either signed a paycheck on the front or the back. They have been lifelong career politicians. They went to school and studied politics. They interned for politicians. I mean, look at Barack Obama. It's a perfect example. Community organizer. That's all he ever did. Never had a real private sector job. What disturbs the system is when you get somebody in there who has. Trump owned businesses.
Yep.
You know, he was a businessman. He approached governing like a businessman, and it threw a wrench into the works of everything that goes on in Washington. That's one of the biggest reasons they hated him, is because he wasn't part of the crowd. He wasn't part of the cool club.
Nope.
And he came in there and said, this is the way we're going to do things. We're going to run it like a business. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do what makes sense.
That meant that they had to do their jobs.
Yeah. And
I'd
they
be really
didn't
pissed
like
off
it.
too that if I got to freeload all the time and make, I don't know, $100,000, $120,000 a year to freeload on my ass.
Well, look at AOC, for example.
Ugh.
What piece of, okay, she's been there for a while now. What single piece of legislation has she put forth?
Nothing.
Something to help her gain money?
Nothing. She has authored, co-authored, sponsored, co-sponsored not a single piece of legislation in all the time she's been there, and she's considered to be one of the most powerful and influential voices in the Congress.
I have to give her credit. She just like Donald J. Trump, she's good at branding.
She knows how to market.
She knows how to market. She's very good at it. And unfortunately, she's not going away. She will be the new Nancy Pelosi of our lifetime.
Well, unless unless she gets killed again during a riot, because she almost died that day.
No, I'm being dead serious though. She's
I
not.
agree.
She's not going anywhere. And I think everybody needs to ask themselves, why do we have a bunch of octogenarians running this country? They don't have a foot in the game. They have one foot out the door. They have one foot. Yeah, they have one foot like on the way out. Like they don't give a shit what happens in the next decade. They most likely won't be alive. Maybe elect somebody who's like in their 60s.
No, I think we should target people in their 40s and 50s. Look at DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your governor. Young by political standards.
I think he'll run in 2028.
So apparently there was a roadblock of cars at Disney today. I'm just getting this right now. A Patriot convoy did a blockade at the entrance to Disney.
Oh, I want to talk about this.
Oh,
you got an article that you can put in the private chat for
R2? I just got a tweet about it. Like it just just popped up now. It's 3 hours old. I'm trying to find an article to prove that it's not just a couple of people with cars. I haven't seen an article yet. I've seen some theme park people retweeting it and the image and the post, but I'm not seeing any articles to back it up. So I don't want to say anything definitive.
Yeah.
But I know the road they're talking about. This could have been earlier today. And it's definitely one of the entrances on 535. So I'm going to double check to see. I don't think they'll give light of day to this, though. Type of deal.
I'm scrolling right now. Look under news and for Disney, and I haven't found anything yet. But then again, I'll be honest. Twitter half the time.
Oh, this Blog Mickey has a article about it. DeSantis supporters block eastern entrance to Disney World property today.
I see a Yahoo News article that says groups gather near Disney World to protest company's stance on Florida education law.
Well, I kind of know Blog Mickey. I don't know. This is one of the smaller entrances, so I'll send this over Twitter to.
They said it was Saturday, April 16th.
Yeah, so it's the same. It's the same thing. I guess just different spin.
Yeah.
Because this one specifically points out DeSantis supporters, not necessarily.
Yeah. No, I see a bunch of photos. It says protecting kids, Ron DeSantis. Yeah, this is done by 9 News.
Yeah, so I guess that happened.
Yeah, it's Disney World. Hey, teacher, leave our kids alone. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said the other day that that's going to be the Republican theme song for the midterms.
Hey, R2, did you highlight JT's comment?
No. But thank you.
Yeah, no. JT is a very valued member of and friend of this channel, and
well, he's definitely a valued member of my channel because he is a co-host.
Mm-hmm. And it was great to see when you made him a co-host. He was I was wondering, I was like, is he gonna still kind of like be the guy in the chair, or is he gonna be like actually? No, he was on screen.
Well, he still is the guy in the chair. He likes doing that.
Yeah,
and
he's definitely still the guy in the chair.
You know, and we love that he loves to do that. But no, I do. It's been really, really wonderful having him participate, and I'm excited that he's having fun doing it.
Yep. Yeah.
Here's a question. This was kind of like my if you won the lottery question the other day, but if you had the DeLorean and you could go back in time, do you think you could prevent any of this nonsense?
Yeah, I think there's 3 pivotal points in our country's thing that could easily have been altered slightly without doing any irreparable harm. I'm not gonna really. One of them would be like the influx in the 70s in colleges, like the teachers, professors, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a big time frame would probably be the early, like mid-late 2000s, like 2007 to 2010 time frame. I think there's a lot going on in that era that led to some of this, but I guess
though my question is how do you do that? Yeah.
You'd have to use similar tactics to what they're doing now. It has to be subtle, and then it has to be when you get enough people believing in whatever they're supposed to be believing in and believing in it blindly. You don't have to do much. You don't have to be subtle anymore. You have to build up that messaging over decades. This happened over a long period of time.
Yeah, it's not a quick fix.
I think you would have to stop the infiltration of the communist and liberal ideology into our educational institutions. And that is something that is going to be hard to do, even going back to the 60s or 70s. Because I don't know if y'all have ever seen, there was one Soviet defector that came, I can't remember his name now, that came to the country, and he laid out.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, their plan was. No. He laid out that their plan was to do exactly what they had done.
Yeah, destabilize from inside.
Destabilize us by infiltrating the educational systems with these
ideologies. They really won the Cold War then.
In a way, they lost.
And
maybe
wow, how much was the Americans kind of like?
How much of it is it like Captain America: Winter Soldier, where it's
like
truly Hail Hydra?
I think everything's kind of like that, though. It's.
Mm-hmm.
I think that part of the problem is the access to information. I think we have so much access to information that people didn't have for so long that people can find dumb information and think it's not dumb information. I think
that goes back to the education where we don't teach people how to critically think anymore. We tell them what they should think.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with our colleges today. They tell these kids how they should think. They don't teach them to critically.
But that's the point.
examine
That's the point,
evidence.
though.
I know.
Yeah,
that.
but that
Because
was all
you-
come down to like testing stuff too. Like you
have a bunch of autocrats that want to that think they know better for you. It's no different than a king making decisions for his people. It's no different. You have these billionaires and trillionaires or whatever, you know. And I mean, look at the World Economic Forum. It is literally boasted that we have infiltrated governments around the world with our ideologies and our people in elected positions.
Yeah,
these people are coming at it from a politically generated economic standpoint, and now they're making policy. They're making policy for the little people, and then of course. They want to say, no, we know what's best for you. We're going to put these policies in place, kick the ladder out from behind us so you little people can't climb up here and be one of us, no matter how successful you would have been. But because now we have our club and that's it. That's the club. And so no, it is an elitist attitude. It has its own language. It's no different. It's no different than a religion. It's no different than a cult. And these people worship at the different ideologies, but it's no different than worshiping, in the Bible. It's just different.
I'm really disappointed. Not a single one of you had you got to assassinate, the prime minister of Micronesia or something like that.
No, I
can't say what I want to say because it'd be way too bad.
But
I will say that
we are approaching 2.5 hours, so I think we're gonna start wrapping it up pretty quick.
Sorry, I didn't find that 3 hours ago when it got posted.
You're not running this show. What do you get to say about it?
Because the person running the show put a private chat. And I can still hit the end broadcast button. He can't take that away. He can do this. But I did that. But technically, I can still hit the end button. That's right. Y'all. Just kidding.
keep telling yourself you're still in control. It's all right.
I'm in control. All right, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead. Or not?
Oh no! All I was going to say is that going along with what Dax said, I actually had one really great college professor who said the answer doesn't matter, the question does, and that's something that I think a lot of people are annoying, like ignoring the idea of asking the right questions.
Mm-hmm. I think the best thing to do is what all of us try to do every single time we turn on the camera and review a movie, that was from our childhood that was beloved, or call out nonsense in politics or a bad movie nowadays. Just turn the camera on and have an opinion about something, and other people will flock to sane opinions. Like
have a discussion. Nobody can discuss anything now.
Exactly.
It's always a battle. You can't sit down. Like, I don't know if any of you know Azura on Twitter.
Yeah, I think
the groups. Me and her had a back and forth, complete disagreement about something about freedoms one night, and she was saying that in Italy they were doing this and they were locking things down, and she thinks it's good, and I'm like, no, I think it's horrible. And she goes, well, sometimes I think I need to be told what to do. And I'm like, but not by the government, so we went through this whole disagreement, right? Stayed cordial, stayed, we very respectful of each other, still love each other, but we had a discussion. Nobody does that anymore. It's, well, you're an istophobe. You're a bigot. You're this. You're that. You're whatever. Block.
But it also goes down to like some of this immaturity that everyone still has, because that's how you argued with your parents. Sometimes you just went to emotional reactions because you knew you were wrong, so you couldn't actually defend your position sometimes. So you just went to, well, you're a meanie.
With my parents, I didn't, because that didn't end well if I did.
Well, that's giving these people too much credit. You're talking about the weirdos who are in power position controlling things. That you're talking about probably 3% of the population who sides with these weirdos. The other people were trying to, which is one reason that they had the chance to take over, is because normal people were living their lives trying to, to live a normal life and take care of their
families
kids
and stuff.
Yeah, like that's a normal human thing. But you get people who don't have, you get these college educated liberals who are a part of they know the elitist terms, and they don't have kids. They don't care to have kids. They're ever going to be is activists. And if they scream
women's studies,
if they scream loud enough on a platform where it's easy to get to representatives of the government, it's easy to talk to celebrities or heads of corporations, like Twitter is probably the easiest place to do so, to where you can legitimately interact with a movie star and have them interact with you back. You're going to get this result because they're going to say, oh, well, look at all these people talking to us about what they want. This is because they're not polling everyday people. They're not going out to the local cinema saying, hey, did you guys like the new Batman movie? Was it good? Did you like that? What did you not like about it? What did you like about it? And they don't do that. So they're listening to basically they're listening to these people that blow air up their ass, and they're like, well, that's what everybody wants. Let's do it. And then, of course, they get on their high horses because they're doing the right thing. So they're narrow-minded, and all they're doing is ding, 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 ding. They're bouncing off each other. Yeah, I can sit there and bounce. I can bounce ideas off a wall all damn day and agree with myself. Doesn't mean it's a good idea. That's the problem. Is that normal people have to speak out, and I think that's probably where we should call it. Is that normal people have to speak out and have real conversations. And no, you're probably not going to be able to get to these weirdos, but you can talk cordially maybe to your neighbor if they're like, man, you see his gas prices, be like, I know, right? Be like, what do you think's causing that? You don't have to start immediately jump on the bandwagon like, oh no, look at the gas prices. Biden's a piece of shit. Fuck him. That's going to off-put people. They're going to
that's agreed around this part of the country.
Well, I'm just
hey man, I saw Let's Go Brandon Spirit jerseys in Disney the other day.
Absolutely. But I mean, if you're gonna reach out to somebody who you don't know their economic what they know or what their political orientation is, because they're not screaming it on Twitter like the weirdos who do, that's how you have a normal conversation. Because people are going to be more concerned about, be like, holy shit, I just spent $200 at the grocery store, and what I would have spent a year and a half ago would have only been like 120. That's a real conversation.
Ryan, I think we're seeing that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So we have to keep doing that. We can't back off. We can't say, okay, we're starting to get a response and take it back. We need to go 100% full force until normalcy and common sense has taken over. So I see that I see Phil is just jumped in. So we'll say hi to Phil, and then Phil comes in for the last like 50 seconds.
Well, you know what they say. I had to make my epic entrance, and
I see that.
What more epic is it to come at the very end?
Well, then Phil, why don't you tell the people good night for us and take us on an outro here and introduce everybody's channel.
Okay, well, you can please sub to Legion Games. He is awesome. Lucky to be on his channel. And there's that handsome
I didn't expect to be full screen, but okay, thank you.
And also please go subscribe if you want to support and also follow Ryan on the Twitters.
It's going to be a hard time for Phil to remember all of Ryan's channels.
I know. He just needs to remember the one.
And then follow, if you guys can, follow R2, who fixed the whole BB noise and is able to speak English on Twitter as R2 the Icky. And
wait, I fixed what? And I can speak what?
He's saying you can actually talk
problem and get to speak English. Since Luke and Anakin did not fix that, I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
You look good for an astromech, by the way. But
well, I like to think I put the ass in Astro.
Exactly. I don't know. We'll have to ask the missus about that.
And so
I don't know. Stand up, twirl around.
I need a super chat for that one.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it would be more putting the D in D2.
Maybe she can confirm. She's. In the chat,
I have
so.
a feeling she can probably confirm very well.
And you can also find R2, the handsome guy over there, after the weekend.
Thank you.
And I am like hyped up on sugar right now, so that's why I'm being really kind to you guys right now. And then you can see our bald guy representation on the panel being Rogue Disney with that weird.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Dax. I'm sorry.
I'm bald. What the hell?
And that little creaser on his
I'm bald
shoulder.
by choice.
You can find him at Rogue Disney.
Does the carpeting match the drapes, Tom?
Oh, you got to stop with that question. Yeah.
No, but Amos Harry's a Wookiee.
One of these days, he's going to stand up and show us all, and you're going to be the one to blame.
That's what she said.
Spoon.
The camera is still awkwardly just on Tom right now.
Well, you guys can find him at Rogue Disney on Instagram.
You know, I'm gonna do a water park video one day, and you're all gonna not like it.
And you guys can follow him on the YouTubes, Instagram, and on Twitchers as Rogue Disney. And then you can find
and TikTok.
Oh, and the TikToks.
He's on the 14-year-old girl platform TikTok.
See, he
That's
doesn't
a Disney. That's a big Disney demographic.
See, he doesn't.
No, I
only
know.
want He doesn't only want to have us see his handsome face, but the other people on TikTok. You're welcome.
It's all about Zord. I mean, come on now. We know who the real star is here.
And then, and then there's Captain Dax, where
No
where
channels.
can people find you again?
He's on Twitter.
Just Twitter.
Hey, I'm 2 away from 300. So if anyone still wants to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll be at 300 then.
Yeah,
I'll be 2 away.
Let's get him there.
Subscribe to Rogue Disney.
Or he'll show his hairy legs.
Oh my God, you don't want to see those.
And then you guys can also find me here on YouTube, on Twitter as Primus for TMNT, where I may dress up as an Ewok hot dog or just show off my cat, where I try to set him up with a very hot date.
That poor cat.
Love you, Nemo. So yeah,
that poor cat. Well, this has been fun. I mean, considering the fact that I was really tired and I thought about bailing on the stream, I'm glad we did this. This was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of serious stuff, but man, we got way off on a bunch.
We got in the winds a little earlier on. That was
that was a lot of fun.
So much to Tom and Dax for joining us.
No problem.
Panel. Phil, thank you for stopping by, even if it was at the end. Always a pleasure.
Yes,
I'm just glad to know that Ryan has vacation plans now for when he goes to Orlando.
Yeah, which Tom, we need to figure out what we're doing about that in May. It's not very far.
Are you
away.
just coming out for the one day?
Yeah, I'm only going to probably be able to do the one.
Yeah,
day.
so I know.
Somebody get a gimbal. We want a live stream from Rachel's.
I mean,
I don't know if that would be allowed. I don't think you're allowed to record.
I mean, what days are you thinking?
Stick a camera inside Zort.
I know we'll probably do Saturday and Sunday. Just
I could
because
probably stick around. I could probably take Saturday off and and drive back Sunday night and still make it for work.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make like a weekend of it.
Because I know Geeky Gamers wants to do a meetup in City Walk.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely going to be I'm assuming it'd be Saturday night would be that meetup.
Okay, yeah, then that's what I'll do. I'll take Saturday off and then we'll do Sunday thing.
Yeah, but I mean that should be fun. It's a great convention center space, and there's plenty of great restaurants around.
Yeah, well, I haven't been to a convention since like 2000.
No, I was gonna say Gordon Ramsay. They have a great fish and chips spot right near the convention center.
Let's do it.
Yeah, but that's going to be a lot more crowded this year. I've been hearing people that I know that worked the convention last year that are saying there's a lot more.
People are anxious.
Yeah,
people want to, especially here in Florida, they want to get out and about and do fun stuff. So, Yeah, we'll confer more on that and set everything in stone. But yeah, I'll definitely take.
We'll send the random odd flight ticket up to R2, so it'll come.
Yeah. Get your ass down here.
Man, I still wish some of y'all could make the June Fan Expo here in Dallas.
I know, yeah. Like that's another one too. It's
enough. One con is expensive enough. Doing more than one that gets pricey.
Everything's pricey nowadays.
I mean, I was thinking about it before when gas wasn't crazy, because I was going to stop by New Orleans and do like a little like southern part of the state drive over. But now that I just
I don't
driving around is not going to be. All right, we're ending. So let's
yeah.
We're
wrap it up.
If you wanted to end on a high note, I could always bring up Seamus the hot dog.
No, everybody wave goodbye quick and
Bye.
go.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Click the
Get
end.
back in there right now and play Ya Ding Dong! No, we are done for tonight. You have to play it!
Ding dong. My love for you is growing wide and long.
Yeah.